Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. Covenant House is the national leader providing safe housing for youth, 50 years strong. Help us fight youth homelessness. Go to covenanthouse.org.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Not a bad afternoon out there. Temperatures are a bit above normal. The warmest day that we'll likely see this week with a high of 60 degrees under mostly sunny skies. A bit warmer tonight, too. We'll keep it above freezing with an overnight low of 38, and then partly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 56.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 395 points to 49,194.
Now to be Blake set up. He scores! Power play goal! Jackson Blake lets it go. Now Larkin, he has it knocked away by Jarvis. Ahu's going to get to it. Here's a 2-on-1. Ahu and Jarvis. Jarvis shoots and scores! Oh, there's a shorty. That's great to look at. Carolina has made it a one-goal game. Game's right back into the zone. Now hanging on. Goss to spare. He shoots and scores! They've come all the way back!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We're going up on a Tuesday. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. It's not a celebration of a win for the Canes yesterday, but there might be some fury that comes with the game yesterday.
Yeah, they got a point at least.
That's true. Kept the point streak alive. They're playing again tonight in St. Louis, so it is a hockey night in Carolina.
Radio-only broadcast, by the way.
7:30.
That's right.
7:30 puck drop, which I emphasize that just so we don't get a bunch of people tuning in at 6:30 for Stormwatch going, what the heck is going on? Just 1/2 hour later. It'll be here at 7. And you know what? In the interest of delivering when we're supposed to and being on time, let's not wait any longer. How about the big 3 at 3?
Number 1.
Carolina Hurricanes lost in Detroit last night 4-3 in overtime, as you heard Dennis say. Did grab the point. It would help if you didn't spot them 3 goals. Right? That would be solid. It would help if the refs called a cross-check on Gostisbehere in front of the net in overtime on the game winner. That would help.
Would help if a penalty was called when Logan Stankoven gets dragged down.
Got horse collar tackled.
That's a 15-yarder.
Yeah, that's the we're going to have to review this one for forcible contact to the head or neck. I'm going to start here. My traditional thought process, and I try to stick to this as much as I can, is that bad calls come out in the wash, right? If you complain about every little bad call, you usually ignore the bad calls that go in your favor. And that's not the right way to go about it. That's unfair. However, every once in a while, there is a call right at the end of a game that very obviously decides the outcome, and you don't have time to react. and you don't have time to make up for what you can't control. And those, I think, deserve a little extra spotlight. Right, I gave this very same speech, for those of you that think I'm just like the most homer person in the history of the world. I did give this exact same speech for Wake Forest against Virginia. Remember that? We're talking football all the way back. They had the offsides call that wasn't called, and it would have ended the game. Like, there were bad calls earlier in that game, just like there were bad calls earlier in the Canes game last night. Both ways. Missed calls, bad calls, whatever you want to go with. But when there's one that happens so obviously, in a make-or-break situation like NHL overtime, that needs to be addressed. And I'm asking this from the NHL. I'm not. By the way, I don't want an apology. I hate when leagues come out like 4 days later and say, we missed the call at the end. It's like, oh, you're going to go ahead and change anything? Absolutely not. We're just letting you know. I don't care. I don't want an apology. This goes into, like, we have the technology, we have the replays, you can have the sky judge. Even if you're not going to do it for the entire game, do it for overtime, where you can just have somebody in the little headset of the ref that can call in and say, yeah, no, that's not okay. By the way, it doesn't mean the game would have, doesn't mean the Canes would have won, right? Just would have taken away that goal. That's what happens there, right? Shane Gostisbehere and Sebastian Aho got misconduct after the game, screaming. Like, a lot of times for fouls and things, or defensive pass interference, anything like that, I watch the player's reaction in real time, and you can tell when it, like, somebody is embellishing, or when somebody is, like, genuinely mad, or when somebody is putting on. Like, you just watch their body language. If Aho gets really mad and yells at a ref enough to get a misconduct, that's usually a good sign that something bad happened there, right? He doesn't do that very often. Matter of fact, it was his first 10-minute misconduct of his career. Now the challenge is, and I actually, ready for this? You want a spin zone silver lining? You want to go optimism with a little spin zone? Playing tonight in St. Louis after all of that emotion at the end of last night in overtime, I actually think that's a good test for them. I think that's a fantastic, postseason emotion simulation. Like, let's get you as worked up as possible. Let's get you as emotionally drained as possible. And no time to wait. Travel. Next game. Go. If you can handle that, right? Postseason games have days in between. If you can handle that, it's like swinging the bat with the donut on it. It's a little bit heavier. So when you get in the moment, it feels okay. Could be a good little emotional test. And by the way, Brandon Bussey will be in net tonight. That's number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
The general manager of the Carolina Panthers spoke to the media today, Dan Morgan, and throughout the show, we're going to be playing you clips and reacting to his comments. This is the architect, right? This is the main decision maker for the offseason. Dan Morgan spoke, and he was asked if they are ahead of schedule as a team, which is something that I've just assumed they are ahead of schedule, being a division winner significantly earlier than I thought they would. Here's Dan Morgan and his answer to being ahead of schedule or not.
From the inside, I really don't put timelines on it. Kind of leave that for the outside. I think for us, we have a vision. We have a plan moving forward. We're going to stick to that plan, and we're going to build this thing one brick at a time. We have a good foundation right now. I think you're never one player away. So I think we just got to be smart. We got to be disciplined in our process and our approach, like we've been, and just stick to that motto.
No timelines. There has to be timelines, but it's smart not to put them publicly because then you might not reach them. They're ahead of schedule. I was talking with Dennis off air, and I think it's a good way to put it. I think next year is the first time they've kind of removed all the anchors and weights from the decisions made by the previous regime. I think this year they won 8 games and they've improved a little bit, and they made the postseason despite the fact that they're still answering for some of the mistakes made by the previous GM and the previous coaching staffs and everything else. Next year, it's like when a college coach finally has all their own recruits.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? You can't blame the previous guy if you don't have the talent now. They're finally into, all right, you've made most of these decisions. The bad drafts from 2020 don't hit you as hard at this point. Some of the bad contracts are all coming off the books and everything. So
also, no more picks now going to Chicago for the Bryce Young trade.
No more. Exactly. Like you're coming out to where if there's something that's not right, you had something to do with it, right? You could have moved on. You chose to keep them around, whatever it is. So I think that shows they're ahead of schedule, right? They're still kind of clearing out a little bit of the old mistakes. Now, next year, full steam ahead, but you already have a pretty valuable experience in the postseason, right? You already have a game in hand to learn and grow from, which I don't think they were banking on having.
No, I said 7-9 wins before the season started. I predicted 7-10. They went right there 8-9. Now it just happened to be the rest of the division stunk. So like you said, you snuck into the playoffs and kind of got a little bonus there. But I mean, they're on the right track. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Can you stack another great, draft class and free agency class is the question.
It is fair to say, right? And actually, I don't even think it's if anything crazy, right? We talk about advanced analytics, or you talk about EPA, or you talk about all these things. 2 wins, 5 wins, 8 wins.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be more complicated. The goal is to win football games. Each of the last 2 years, each of the last 2 off seasons, they've improved 3 wins. Right, that is an unrealistic curve to continue. Right, I'm not going. Oh, it's definitely 11 wins next year. But you can't argue with the fact that that's why you hire a GM. That's why you hire a coach, to just improve every year until you get to the point where you're contending. Then you want to stay in that window as long as possible. I think they are definitely ahead of schedule as a team. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
Mike Tomlin stepping down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Dennis, you are our resident Steelers fan. How you feel about that?
Heck of a run.
Darn right.
Heck of a run. I think it's obviously an opportunity for this team to really strip it down. What the franchise needs is to strip it down, rebuild it. Because of how well Tomlin can coach with a mediocre roster, they were kind of stuck in purgatory as a team. Not good enough in order to contend, but also not bad enough to really retool. They kind of were stuck in the middle there. So you know what? This gives them a chance, and I think Tomlin realizes, this is my opinion, now's the time to step away. This team needs a retool. I don't want to be part of a rebuild process here. Let me just go ahead and step away and let them figure it out. It's fine. It's fine.
10-7 each of the last 3 years. Never had a losing season in his time as head coach of the Steelers. Won a Super Bowl way back in 2008 and has just, for the most part, stayed competitive ever since then. Here's what I think is his gift and his curse. They are, 0-7 in their last 7 playoff games, which sounds awful until you realize I think a lot of those rosters weren't playoff caliber.
No, that's the thing. They really weren't.
He dragged them to the playoffs. So it's eating at him, or it's being seen as a negative that he was taking teams that shouldn't have been in the postseason at all and winning enough games to make the postseason. If I were a host of NFL teams looking for a head coach right now,
I'm calling.
I'm making him say no a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not – if he says no now, I'll go, all right, we'll go on vacation. I'll call you in a couple days. Let me see how you feel after you get your toes in the sand for a little bit here.
Call you after dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If anyone else calls, you'll let me know, right? Don't change your mind for someone else. But also, and this happened with Harbaugh, I bet you there are some teams out there that have head coaches.
Oh, yeah.
That are calling to go, hey, listen, don't let him think, don't think that this guy is blocking you from being our head coach. He's our next option if you say no. I think he's that good of a coach. I think he's that good of a program builder and all those sorts of things. I've also said this, and this might be the hot take. I think if with the way college football is going, if he took over like a true blue blood with his charisma and the recruiting, and he would obviously understand salary caps and everything, you might be looking at an all-time dynasty if that's the way he wanted to go. I floated when somebody else floated his name for Penn State, I went, oh, that is a powder keg of dynasty just waiting to explode. But Josina Anderson did say today that if Mike Tomlin were to take another coaching job, he would like it to be in a warm weather environment. So Might eliminate everybody up near Pittsburgh and everyone out there in the Pennsylvania area.
I don't know. Come on down here to North Carolina somewhere.
If you were willing to coach in college, I'd take him. I don't think I'd take him on the Panthers if we're being real. But that's no disrespect to Dave Canales. That's more an impressive and a compliment to Mike Tomlin. And then lastly, this is where it's going to sound like a eulogy.
Okay.
John Harbaugh no longer the coach of the Ravens.
Nope.
Mike Tomlin no longer the coach of the Steelers. We may have watched the last NFL throw of Aaron Rodgers last night. Matt Stafford is kind of that era. If he wins the Super Bowl and sails off into the sunset going into retirement, I think that's the entire youth of the NFL. Like my entire youth watching the NFL is now gone, and it's all the next generation, the young whippersnappers. And I don't know how I feel about that. There's one name that needs to keep it rolling.
Joe Flacco.
You're darn right, Joe Flacco. Go be a backup somewhere. Just be in the league. That's all I'm asking for. Andy Dalton likely done. Like that whole generation. Crazy. Harbaugh will still be around, but if he's wearing like a Dolphins, windbreaker, it's not going to be the same. Same as Andy Reid. Andy Reid for my youth was Eagles. New generation Andy's with the Chiefs. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have more audio from Dan Morgan, including an explanation for why the defensive coordinator got a contract extension well before many of us thought. Stick around.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly here, and I want to make sure everybody knows that Bailey's Fine Jewelry is proud to feature the largest Omega showroom of its kind, offering an unmatched opportunity to explore the brand's full collection. And this year, that means just a little bit more, because Omega has been the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games since 1932. So, if Omega and their timekeeping and all of the technology and innovation that you can have on your wrist is good enough in the extreme cold, high speeds, and intense physical conditions of the Olympics, downhill skiing, speed skating, where every 1/10 of a second matters, well, guess what? It has to be good enough for you. And, in my personal opinion, they also look so darn sharp. I am a massive fan of Omega watches, luxury timepieces, and that's why you should stop out at the largest Omega boutique of its kind inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location.
Out of a heavy set, Bryce the snap, give to Chuba, off the right side, plows through a defender, touchdown! Carolina takes its first lead, 23-20, 14:34 to go. And I'll tell you what.
The Drive, Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. At 4:33, we will be asking for first goal scorer predictions for tonight's Canes game. They will be taking on St. Louis on the road. Who scores the first goal for the Canes, and in what period do they score it? Start thinking now if you haven't done so already. In the meantime, the Panthers, their season came to a close over the weekend. It was a loss to the Rams, but it was a close loss. And a close loss to a team like the Rams in the postseason appears to have risen, or raised, I should say. They appear to have raised vibes around the team. Right? No moral victories, but everybody seems pretty optimistic about the way the Panthers showed up. So earlier today, it was a late morning presser. Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Panthers, spoke to the media. And it definitely had, just not even anything he was doing or how he presented. It just had upward vibes right? Where in years past, a lot of times it's like little, I don't want to say funeral-ish, but a little like, explain to me how you're going to make this stop. This year it was kind of like, no, let's see. Why'd you do this? Very much more curious than accusatory. However, if there is one thing that everybody would be accusing about or be suspect about, it was the situation with Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator. Most of the season was operated under the pretense, at least from the public, that his contract was up this offseason and there would be decisions made and all of these kind of up-in-the-air defensive coordinator questions. Yet it trickled out late in the season, oh, no, his contract isn't up. There was an extension signed. And then Dave Canales on, what was it, Sunday, was very adamant that he wanted Evero back as their defensive coordinator. So when Dan Morgan spoke to the media earlier today, obviously questions arose, including why? Like, why extend Evero after a poor 2024 season in which he led the defense to some all-time bad numbers? And this is what Dan Morgan had to say.
I think if you look at EJ, if you're around him every day, you see the way he works, how smart he is. I believe in his defense. I believe in his philosophy. He's really good at developing players. Again, it's my job as well to, equip him with the right personnel. And again, it's a patience thing to where, we're going to attack those needs and we're going to get better across the board. And, I think as you see us keep adding talent onto our roster, players on our roster developing, I think you'll see that defense keep ascending.
This is the benefit of having a quote-unquote football guy, a former player, as your GM. He doesn't just look at results. He's in the building and he's saying, no, talk to him. He knows what he's doing. Could also be the detriment, right? If somebody is ignoring some obvious signs because, hey, I'm a football guy, I know more than you. But it sounds like Dan Morgan's pretty bullish on Evero simply as when I ask questions, he has the right answers, right? If something doesn't work, I go in with why. He can explain it in a way that makes sense. And now, Dan Morgan also pointed out, Evero and Canales have their contracts lined up where, a lot of programs, a lot of franchises like that because you can make kind of bigger decisions all at once rather than having lame ducks and everything else. Dan Morgan spoke about the importance of having Evero and the head coach Dave Canales lined up contractually.
So we aligned him and Dave up, before the season. And, we think highly of EJ. EJ has a really great football mind. We love his defense. It's a really aggressive defense. And, I think as we continue to add players to the defense, I think that you'll see this defense kind of come together. We made a lot of improvements on the defensive side of the ball this year, and we'll continue to get better and add pieces. And, we're up for that challenge.
Do you know what's fascinating about this? In the NFL, one of the terms you hear all the time is he's not so-and-so's guy, right? When a GM takes over and a head coach is incumbent, is already hanging around, it's always like, well, he's not the GM's guy. When a head coach takes over and the quarterback is already, he's not his guy. Coordinators and head coaches, I think, are even more so, right? You look at coordinators and head coaches across the league, it's traditionally a very close relationship. Evero was there when Dave Canales showed up. And now they're linked contractually as far as a timeline. They appear very buddy-buddy. They defend each other, and Dave Canales is obviously putting his neck on the line with how he's supported Evero. And they didn't necessarily, I don't want to say they didn't choose each other because Canales has, now chosen, but they weren't in the come up together, right? And older coaches, often their coordinators have some connection to them earlier, some kind of mentor-mentee relationship, or one of their good friends recommended them highly. It's an interesting relationship between head coach and defensive coordinator in Carolina, and now they are linked. And because of that, a little bit of stability goes a long way. Let's talk about the Panthers. When I say let's hear from Dan Morgan about the Panthers potentially being more attractive to free agents now that they've won a little bit, right? They got a little bit of that playoff glow. Maybe free agents are going to want to play in Charlotte even more.
I think definitely having some success makes it easier to attract those free agents. But I would also say, like, having a coach like Coach Canales, I think guys are going to want to come here and they're going to want to play for him. Just the way that he carries himself, the enthusiasm that he has on a day-to-day basis, the way he leads those guys. This is a fun environment. We work really hard, but we also have fun doing what we do. And if I was a player again, I would want to play for a coach like that.
Here would be my pitch, my sell. It would all be about we're ascending. We're on the way up. We are, if you're talking to a free agent, a few pieces away from taking the big leap. If you want to be a part of something, this is a spot to do it. Right, there are a lot of teams out there that have been contenders multiple years in a row, and their pitch is a little bit different. With the Panthers, it's not just about come here and you can win. It's about come here and you can be the reason we take the next step. Right, if you go to, the Niners, I'm just picking one that's still alive. If you go to the Niners, you're not the reason that they're a contender. Right, you're the reason maybe that they can help replace so-and-so who they couldn't afford this year. But if you come to the Panthers, it is all about growth. It is all about being the next big thing, and it's exciting. And then you also throw in the atmosphere at Bank of America over the weekend, and it's like, hey, we want more of that. And to do that, we need you.
Hey, if I can get paid and play on a contending team, that's what I want to be a part of.
Yeah, and it might not even be like, oh, people are taking a discount to play for the Panthers, but it might be the first time in a while you don't have to pay a premium to the most desired free agents to play for the Panthers, right? You don't. It's not like, well, we got this offer for $1 million here. The agent tells you it's going to be 1.4 for you to get them. It might just be if you can beat $1 million, right? Give us 1.1 and we're over there. Like it's more fair. We'll talk more about Dan Morgan's plan for the draft and everything else as we go throughout today's show and throughout the offseason. I started watching some draft film today. I already got some players I like.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
Yeah, it happens. We have 2 minutes of gold coming up where we dive back into the Carolina Hurricanes overtime loss last night and Dean's List. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to pass along to you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know we're pretty much 2 weeks already into the new year, and I know a lot of people that have those New Year's resolutions probably haven't stuck with those already. It happens. It's okay, folks. But that doesn't mean you just give up on the weight loss journey and any of that stuff right now. I'm telling you right now, folks, if you really are serious about losing weight, and you want to do it where there are no shots, no injections, no steroids, none of the side effects, none of those kinds of things, you need to give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call. 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. I was with the program with Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I lost over 40 pounds. I'm even thinking in the new year, you know what? I still want to lose more weight, and I know the exact plan I need to follow. All thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. 919-897-7506. Give them a call or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. You have questions, you have concerns, you want to learn more about the program, you got health issues, bring it all to the table, let them answer your questions. That way you can move forward with confidence, knowing that you can see results. I know for me, I started seeing results right away, and it just gives you even more energy to just stick with the program. That's what you got to do. Just stick with the program once you start it. I guarantee you're going to see results in some way, shape, or form. I lost over 15% of my body weight thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. You can do something along those lines as well. 919-897-7506 or RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute phone call. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's 2 minutes of gold from Adam Gold and names our Dean's List for the day. Next.
Hi, Greg Talbot with Strategic Tax Resolution. Tax enforcement and defense strategies have changed a lot over the last year. After nearly 5 years, the IRS has restarted automated collections. You could be next for bank levies and wage garnishments. Ignoring the issue is not an option. Call 984-272-2600 to get protected. Do you have unfiled returns or tax debt? We work directly with the IRS and states so you don't have to. Let us use our proven strategies and experience with the IRS and state to resolve your tax issue. Qualified clients have cut their tax debt by more than 90%. How would that feel? Act now to learn the latest updates to tax relief programs. Your eligibility may not be the same. Strategic Tax Resolution. Local, trusted, A+ rated by the BBB. Call 984-272-2600. Ask for me, Greg Talbot. 984-272-2600. You've got a guy on your side. StrategicTaxResolution.com. Get relief.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
4th and 6 from the 12. Gets the snap off with 2 seconds to spare. Rifles, end zone. Justin Jolie leaps up. It is a touchdown on 4th and 6, a 12-yarder. Pack's going to win the game. 20-11 with 1:47 to play.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Last night, Carolina Hurricanes in Detroit. They lost, but it was in overtime, so they get the little bonus point. And it was a controversial end to the game. I'm sure it is addressed by Adam Gold, our very own Adam Gold from here at 99.9 The Fan, as he breaks down the game in something we call 2 minutes of gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 pieces of heavy metal that helped to get in the way of Carolina getting 2 points from Detroit last night. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. So Carolina was excellent in the first period, but you know who was better? The goalpost behind John Gibson.
Oh, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman.
Carolina going to work. Nikishin! It rings off the inside of the post. A quick shot by Alexander Nikishin. And it had Gibson beat. Aho, he'll come with this. Puck 2-on-1. Aho with Jarvis. Aho waits, drag, shoots, hits the post.
It's the same post Nikishin hit. Yep, same post, heavy both times. Both could have, should have, might have. We wished they were goals because Carolina would have gotten what they deserved out of the first period, which was a lead. Carolina was significantly better than Detroit. The Red Wings cashed in on the early power play, and there you go. Did Carolina get back into the game? Oh, you betcha. You betcha they did. Carolina scored 2 on the power play, 1 shorthanded in the third to rally all the way back and the equalizing goal coming at 5-on-3.
Canes right back into the zone. Now hanging on. Gostisbehere. He shoots. He scores! They've come all the way back. A power play goal. And the Canes, with 3:01 left in the third, have tied it at 3. Shane Gostisbehere haunts his former team, the Red Wings.
Canes got into overtime, and in overtime, Shane Gostisbehere was kind of cross-checked in front of the net by Andrew Kopp, who scored the game-winning goal, and Aho and Gostisbehere each got 10-minute misconducts after the game for arguing, which I think is kind of justified. But, all right, you got a point. Move on. See everybody in St. Louis. Canes at least got something out of the game. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep. Sound health. Sound off for better officiating, smaller goalposts, 2 points tomorrow.
Thank you very much to Adam Gold for 2 minutes of gold. Do you know what's the funniest part about the uncalled cross-check on Gostisbehere? After the game, right, winding down, I'm scrolling through all of social media. Do you know who gave the angle that made it look the most like a cross-check? The Red Wings official Twitter account put out a clip where I was like, well, that actually looks worse than the other angles that we've seen. Why are you doing this?
I thought it was funny when the NHL posted on their Instagram the game-winning goal. They showed the live video feed, and then they showed a replay of it from the Detroit broadcast, and they muted the broadcaster saying, yeah, it looked like Kopp got away with a cross-check there because their broadcast actually said it themselves. So it's not like, oh, we're just a bunch of homers complaining. No one, the other team that benefited of it, they're actually saying, yeah, he got away with that one too. So the fact that the NHL even was like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pull down the audio of them talking about the actual penalty that we missed. We're just going to ignore that.
It really was.
I found that funny.
It really was a situation where like everybody knew, and it's just like, let's just pretend it's not happening. It's like, just address it. Just say it so everybody doesn't have to sit there awkwardly. Either way, as you heard at the end from Adam, they're on to St. Louis playing tonight against the Blues on the road. You can hear that right here on 99.9 The Fan.
Radio only.
Radio only, and another reminder, you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan and the app. It is a half hour later than the traditional time. 7 o'clock puck drop is what we've all gotten used to. Tonight will be 7:30, which means Stormwatch at 7, and the game a little bit later. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. With all of that taken care of, let's jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, starting with, I'm putting ACC men's basketball.
Let's go.
All but 4 teams in the top 74 of net rankings right now. And by the way, I think that's fair. You're gonna have your bottom feeders every year. I'm not sitting here like, goodness gracious, Florida State and Boston College. No, like if you have that many teams in the conference, you're gonna have a couple that are, rebuilding it, the old reset. But everybody else is kind of doing their part. They're winning enough games. They're sticking around against their quad ones and everything else. But shout out to Tar Heel Story, because this is what made me kind of want to illustrate this today. Carolina, their remaining schedule includes 10 if it were to end right now. Obviously, as teams win and lose, their quads will go up and down. But as of right now, Carolina's remaining schedule includes 10 quad 1 opportunities and 0 quad 4 opportunities. That is what that's what a conference can do for their members, right? All right, we're going to give you a conference schedule where if you need wins to boost your resume, the opportunities will be there. And as a conference, we'll do our best to make sure there are no horrendous games that are really lose-lose for you, right? If you beat a quad 4 team, you don't get much for it. And if you lose to a quad 4 team, it is a traumatic experience for your net rating and for your reputation. So the ACC, for the first time in probably 3 or 4 years at least, kind of doing their part as a whole, and that's going to give their teams a chance to prove their mettle before committee time. So shout out to the ACC. Speaking of, ESPN put out an updated NBA mock draft.
Okay.
The guys that you're thinking are like Boozer in the top 3, Caleb Wilson in the top 5, on and on. But 2 that I want to highlight.
All right.
Patrick Gungba from Duke.
Okay, center.
up to 17th in the mock draft to the Raptors. He's the second highest Duke draftee and the only other first rounder other than Cameron Boozer. That's a come up for Big Pat.
For sure.
That shows this year he's first of all healthy, right? Last year he didn't start healthy and kind of played his way into shape. But even their little write-up had some of the concerns I had at the beginning of the year, right? Verticality. He's not real springy off the ground, but he's showing his IQ, right? Basketball IQ, that is. Passing ability, they can play through him. He's working well off of Cameron Boozer. I just like guys raising their stock. And similarly, obviously Caleb Wilson for UNC, like, top 5 guy, whatever. Henry Vesar, first round prediction. ESPN mock draft had him 26th to the Cavs. This is his first year as a starter in college basketball. He did not start each of the last 2 years at Arizona.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Now, a little injured, banged up last year, did make a few starts, but his first year didn't start any games. To go from that to, legit 7-footer with shooting and playmaking and everything else, 26 to the Cavs, and you would imagine if he keeps playing the way he is, that'll only rise. So, I like to see guys bettering themselves and their future. So each of them makes the Dean's List. And then a whole host of second-rounders, right? There were 3 from NC State, 2 or 3 more from Duke. They got some depth there, but those are the first rounds to mention. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here?
I do. I'll throw Caleb Love on the Dean's List.
Interesting.
Caleb Love. The last 11 games, he plays for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Caleb Love being a UNC player for multiple years and then eventually transferring to Arizona and then not getting drafted, correct?
Yeah, did not go drafted, so he played 2 years with Henry Vesar. So again, there's a crossover there. But undrafted, was a two-way contract guy, but he's played 32 games so far this season for the Trailblazers. The last 11 games, he's been double digits in every single game. But the last 11 games, 16.7 points per game. Shooting from the floor, 55%. From 3, 42%. From 3. Averaging about 29 minutes per game each of the last 11 games on average. And the Trailblazers have gone 7-4 in that stretch as well. So averaging 16 points, 2.5 assists, a half a steal, also averaging about 3.5 rebounds as well. But overall playing pretty well. Again, shooting 55% from the floor and 42% from 3. Not bad. Or 55% from 2, I should say. 42% from 3.
That voice you hear are all the UNC fans that continue to wonder what if he could have stuck around and grew with that core a little bit more.
There you go.
Good player.
Good for him.
Yeah,
again, undrafted.
Love those stories. No pun intended. That is the Dean's List here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Dismissed. Now, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and all that entails. They work service contracts. They work maintenance schedules. They also work the emergencies 24 hours a day, 7 day a week, all across the triangle coverage. And what that does is it makes them your one-stop shop. Right? You don't have to have your plumber, your electrician, your heating, cooling specialist. Instead, you can have Mainer Service Company and know that you just save one number in your phone and it's all taken care of. Right? They are a part of your community. You see their trucks out and about all the time. They're at philanthropic events. They are in our community and they want to be trusted when your house needs a little bit of tender love and care. The number to call, the one that you should save for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical, all one place. Mainer Service Company is 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We have the podium coming up next. Who earns the gold medal for the last week between the ACC teams in the state of North Carolina? Stick around.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Sound Station and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Sound Station and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Sound Station and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Sound Station and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us, and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done, and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
Surveys the defense. 1:20 to go. Boozer to the left. Evans again. Give it to him. Isaiah from deep. The lead is 6. 1:12 to go.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is the NFL coaching carousel that continues to swirl. Mike Tomlin stepping down from the head coaching job at the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier today. We've talked about it. But in the last 15 minutes, it's been revealed by Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network that the Eagles have informed their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, that they're making a change at his position.
Man, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Also, Greg Roman from the Chargers, their offensive coordinator, got let go, too.
Correct. Do you want
it happened like the same time Mike Tomlin got announced.
Slide that one
Slide
under the
that
radar.
right under the radar.
I didn't realize that Harbaugh, which is Jim Harbaugh, got to get my Harbaughs correct, he's never had a offensive coordinator in the NFL other than Greg Roman.
Interesting.
During his time in San Fran, it was always Greg Roman. Those were mostly the Alex Smith-Kaepernick years. And then with the Chargers, he's been there for a couple years now. We always had Greg Roman. So he's going to be looking to hire a different offensive coordinator for the first time in his NFL career. On the flip side of that, the Eagles under Nick Sirianni have had 1,000 offensive coordinators that have left for good and bad reasons. A lot of guys getting promoted to head coach elsewhere, and then some not as good, and Patullo will fall under the not as good category. But they'll look. They got talent on the roster. We'll see what they can do with it next year. Eliminate it. With that being said, let's jump to the podium. There's my music. The podium, it's a 1-week award between the 4 teams in the ACC from the state of North Carolina. And it's very simple. Who had the best week? During this time of year, we do focus on men's basketball. So which men's basketball team had the best week? We start off the podium. The 4th place, if you will. But if you're not top 3, you're last. Wake Forest. Double losses this week. They lost to Miami 81-77. They lost to UNC 87-84. Both of these play right into what I think is the story of this Wake Forest season, which is you watch them and you go, they're a pretty good team. You look at their record, you go, never mind, they haven't beaten anybody of substance. They hang around. Lose by 4 to Miami, lose by 3 to UNC. But, hanging around doesn't quite scratch the itch that you need to scratch in order to climb your way out of the hole they dug in their non-conference schedule. Against UNC, they had 2 different perimeter players scored 28 points on pretty efficient shooting. They had like a good performance from a couple of guys, but it just wasn't enough to overcome the talent at UNC. And this is not a good sign for Steve Forbes, who I like as a dude. I'm a fan of. People are starting to circulate the record against the other teams from the state of North Carolina, his record against Duke, UNC, and State, and it's not great, right? So that's going to – once you start to see those go around too often, it's you better fix it. You know what I mean? Time is ticking. So they're off the podium. Bronze, North Carolina. They did beat Wake 87-84. That's the only game that's in their last week of action, so that's all we have to judge them off of.
In-state conference win?
In-state conference win. The reason that they're bronze is also because other teams had good wins, but more, I don't like the way they beat Wake. Caleb Wilson should never go that long without a shot attempt. Play through your big guys. If you have a Caleb Wilson, use it. Use it. I feel like at the ready for this analogy, shout out to my true film fans. I feel like it's at the end of the long moped ride in Dumb and Dumber. Why didn't you tell me your hands were cold? I had this extra pair of gloves. It's like at the end of a hard-fought win against Wake Forest that came down to the wire. Why didn't you tell me? I had a Caleb Wilson we could have used this whole time. You're telling me you had Caleb Wilson the whole time? You didn't use it? Give it to your good guys. Bronze for UNC. Silver, North Carolina State Wolfpack, NC State. They beat Boston College 79-71. They beat Florida State 113-69. That is a drubbing. Now, Boston College and Florida State are not the biggest, scariest opponents in the ACC. Matter of fact, they're 2 of the least scary opponents in the ACC. So this is more eye test, right? State figured some things out. Darian Williams playing point guard has changed the way their offense plays. It's risen the level, raised the level that their offense produces at. So, hopefully for them, they can continue. They do have a break here. They don't play again until, Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they can work on the new style that they have. But Matt Abel's been cut loose a little bit more recently, the 5-star freshman. Obviously, Darian Williams has been playing better. If those guys get going, in addition to Kadir Copeland playing pretty well, Van Allen Lubin playing pretty well, you're starting to have a Paul McNeil. By the way, that ESPN mock draft I was telling you about,
yeah,
Paul McNeil, a second rounder.
Okay, nice.
So he's starting to raise a little bit. If those 5 continue to put together what they've been more recently, and Trey Holloman gets healthy, they could be kind of just on the other side of a turning point for them, which would be huge.
It's the right time to do it for them.
Will Wade would like to hear it. And then gold goes to Duke. They beat Louisville 82-73. Louisville was a top 25 team in the country, is a top 25 team in the country. And they beat SMU 84-75. They were number 24 ranked at the time, still are, but you'll see how that changes perhaps. Those are 2 big wins for Duke. Quad 1 wins. That is, quite frankly, the difference between the last couple of years in the ACC and this year that I've been talking about so much. Duke has back-to-back in-conference top 25 wins. They didn't have a ton of opportunities to win back-to-back top 25 games in conference over the last 2 or 3 years. So the fact that they're winning the games is great for Duke, but just the fact that they exist is great for the ACC. I will say, and this is not Duke's fault, okay? Don't think I'm bashing you or discrediting anything. They do have a pretty good record of playing some of the best teams they faced this year when some of their best players aren't playing. They caught Kansas without Darren Peterson. There was one other pretty obvious that I'm blanking on now, but then SMU without Boopy Miller. I saw some back and forths on Twitter. Maybe this is not something, I should be proud of. I love a good Twitter beef. I like when guys go back and forth. Apparently Jay Will was on the coverage for Duke SMU.
All right.
And at one point he said, like, SMU is they're an ISO team right now. They're depending too much on ISOs. And who did SMU not enjoy that? Some fans were pointing out their assists total, and they move the ball great. They're X-ranked in assists and everything else. And Jay Will had to say, your number one assist guy was out. And at the time I said it, you had 4 assists and 17 turnovers. I was watching the game I was watching. And it's just like, you don't realize, in college especially, if you take away, it doesn't even have to be your best player. There are keystone players kind of across your roster where if you just remove their skill set, you're not the same team. And obviously, Boopy Miller was that for SMU. If you're near the top of a bunch of stuff in assists and assist percentage and everything else, and then Boopy Miller's out and you have 4 assists and 17 turnovers, you realize how important that guy is. So, SMU probably is clinging to that, right? We would have given Duke XYZ more of a challenge. We would have kept it closer. We would have won the game if this guy played. But, you can't blame Duke for playing who's on their schedule when they're on their schedule.
And it's one of those things as well. I think sometimes people lose sight of the fact that, for example, like Jay Williams is describing how they are playing in this game currently, not who they are or at least have been during the season. Like, more than one thing can exist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been a ball-moving team and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, but right now you're playing like an ISO team.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like people have selective hearing sometimes when it comes to stuff.
Very true. And by the way, the other one that I failed to mention was they called Louisville without Michael Brown.
That's true.
Another player who's projected to be very highly in the draft, although he's been out for a stretch. It's not like, he missed just the Duke game. Like, he's missed a lot of time.
Louisville takes on Virginia tonight.
That's
Top
a big one.
20 matchup in the ACC as well, which is great. Love seeing that on a Tuesday night. ACC basketball should own Tuesday nights.
Yes,
at this time
I
of year,
like
they
that.
should absolutely own Tuesday nights. Ain't nothing else going on. That's the Canes hockey.
Yes,
But
true.
as a whole, make yourself special in that day.
Own real estate on the calendar is big. I've said that for a long time. I don't know why.
Super Tuesday, baby.
The MAC used to own Wednesdays. I don't know why they gave that up. That was like the only thing a lot of people knew about MAC is MAC football. If I need to gamble on a Wednesday, I can go there. That branding.
Bored sitting at home on a Wednesday. Oh, look, football game. Yeah. But people are going to flip through the channels. It's on ESPN2, whatever. They're going to see, okay, Louisville, Virginia, I know them. Oh, they're both ranked? Okay, cool. Like, that's how you have to position yourself.
But still, Louisville, Virginia, that's a big game for, that are you the second best or the 5th best team in the ACC range? Are you the second best or are you the 6th best? And you could be anywhere in between there. Like, both those teams are in that mix.
The one game could be the difference between playing on Thursday in the ACC tournament or playing Wednesday.
I'm with it.
How you start. It's a massive game. Love it.
So there's our podium. Dennis, as always, I need a gold star from you going to one of the Group of 5 or lower division teams in the state of North Carolina for how they've been performing this week.
Got to go out to Burlington, North Carolina for Elon, the Phoenix. 2-0 this past week, beating 2 other in-state schools. They beat North Carolina A&T State back on Thursday last week, 69-64 on the road. And then this past Saturday, squeaked out a win against Elon, 83-82. So you beat 2 in-state programs, going 2-0 on the week. So Elon, the Phoenix, gets the gold star.
The Phoenix, the Fighting Phoenix. I got to break out. My brother went to Elon, so I have some maybe deep in the drawer, some Elon gear. I got to break out some Elon gear. Oh, I wonder if he was there. I need to go talk to him. I wonder if he was there during the Signetti years.
Oh, okay.
All right. Signetti's rise. Actually, I think he might have been there well before Signetti. Signetti's rise is way too quick. I feel like to become the highest talked about, best thought of coach in FBS, probably should have been at an FCS school like 20 years ago. It's probably like 7 if we actually do the math.
Kurt Signetti was there 2017, 2018.
That's when he was in Elon?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
not that long ago he was at Elon. It literally was right down the road.
Yeah, my brother was not there at that time. He is older than me.
Makes you think as well is that, like, with this level of rise for what he did at James Madison, now what he's doing at Indiana with a chance to win a national championship, and he was right here in our backyard.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, who missed on that guy?
Not to mention he was the, I believe, the quarterback's coach from 2002 to like 2006 or something, or
2000 to 2006 he was on NC State staff.
Yeah, that's the Phillip Rivers years.
Then he was the Alabama wide receiver coach, recruiting coordinator from 2007 to 2010. Then he was a Division II head coach at IUP up in Pennsylvania.
Look at that.
Now, yeah, he comes down here to Elon, just right under all of our noses. Guy's about to win a national championship, possibly.
I bet Elon was paying him $300,000 or $400,000. I think he's making $13 million this year, something like that. Probably with bonuses, $14-15 million with Indiana. And he was there 2017, 2018. That's an aggressive come up for old Curt Cignetti.
So, yeah, he signed an 8-year, $93 million extension back in October. That's $11.6 million.
Good for him. And I assume there's Big Ten championship, win the first round, win the second round, perhaps national championship bonuses. That's aggressive. Good for him. Go make your money. Would you want to be the Steelers coach?
He's from Pittsburgh. Why not?
There you go.
I don't know, but he is, 64 years old? About to turn 65 this summer. I don't know how long he would stay.
He's like a 40-year coach overnight sensation. You know, shout out to Matt Rule. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
He coached at Davidson.
He's a he may be a Pittsburgh guy, but he knows where the best barbecue is. He's hanging out in the Carolinas as much as he can. Can't get that in Bloomington. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next. What do the Panthers need that was displayed in the Rams game they didn't have to get over the hump next year? Stick around.
This is the sound of Claire cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
What's this?
We're expanding the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club.
That's a pretty big wrecking ball.
Well, with all these new scratch-offs, this place is going to be packed with new winners. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this wall down. This is where we're putting the polo field. Whoa, patience, Trixie.
This month's tickets are loaded with $90 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds or winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Wrap Up the Year sales event is on at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Right now, you could get 0% financing for 60 months on a new 2026 Ram 1500. Or even better, 0% for 72 months on a new 2025 Ram 1500. Or take advantage of 20% off any new Ram 1500 in stock. See dealer for details. In other words, it is time to get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm. Injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A pleasant afternoon for us. We'll see breezy conditions, but warmer temperatures with a high around 60 degrees and sunny skies. Upper 30s tonight and mainly clear. And tomorrow we start our cool down, highs in the mid 50s under partly cloudy skies.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 398 points to 49,192.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Panthers season is over. But in the NFL, there really is no offseason, to be cliche. You go straight from the football season to draft and free agency season to preseason and continue. I think it's important right at the beginning of the offseason, and you can't really get further to the beginning than we are right now. Season just ended over the weekend. To identify the most important priority. Because as the offseason goes along, you're just going to you're going to but yourself into a billion needs. Right? You're going to identify something you want, and then you're going to go, but actually, with Ike Ekwonu's injury, probably need to think left tackle. But actually, the way offenses are going, we probably need to spend a little bit more on nickel corner. But actually, Taylor Moton isn't as young as you'd think. Maybe we need to even go double tackle. But actually, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, we have 50,000 things we have to do to get this team ready for next year. Well, are you getting the main ones done? Right? Are you getting the thing done? And then obviously whatever else you have left, you can go try to solve all those smaller leaks. But are you getting the main thing done? And I was having a hard time. I was trying to think, all right, if I can only pick one. Almost cons and cons style, right? Like you can have one of the games we play. What are you most confident? What are you most concerned about? You can have as many concerns as you want, but the game we play is you got to pick the thing you're most concerned about. Like going into an offseason when you're the Carolina Panthers, I mean, you were a below 500 team this year. Right, you were 8-9 in the regular season, lost your first playoff game. Total them together, you were 8-10 in games played. There's gonna be a long list of things you need to improve. But if you had to describe just one, right? If you needed to even if it's not like one position, if it's one idea, one skill set, one thing your team needs, what would it be? And what I came up with is a little vague, but that just means there's more than one solution here, is what I'm calling kill shot ability. Kill shot ability, and it can be offensive or defensive, and I'll explain why. Kill shot ability. The Panthers almost never, and this is not an exaggeration, but since I've been professionally covering the Carolina Panthers, almost never have they put a team out of their misery before like 4 seconds left in the game. Their wins are always close. If they get a lead, it's only a matter of time until it's a one-possession game again. And quite often, I mean, if they get behind by 2 scores, they might make it a game again, but it's never in favor of, right? Sometimes they get blown out. And it's not a game the bad way, but it's never the other side, right? They never get up by 30. Sometimes they're down by 30 is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the only time they did that was at home against Atlanta this year. That's
yes,
it.
the shutout game. And I think part of that is they just don't have the dudes that can land the knockout blow. The way their offense was built this year, their running backs were outside of a month from Rico Dowdle. They were get what's there, but never get more guys. Right? They were get 7, 8 yards, 12 yards on a really good run. They weren't the 60-yarder. Even somebody like Teteroa McMillan this year was catch with a guy on his back, catch and maybe make one guy miss. Jalen Coker is not a blazer, right? He's not the fastest guy in the world. Contested catch guy, right? So oftentimes their good drives were the 12-play drives. Their defense, what did everybody complain about their defense with the Rams? Too conservative, keep everything in front. Well, that's what they've been all year. They've been the defense that is very conservative, right? It is very, let's make the other team make 12 good plays to beat us rather than give up the one big play, or rather than we take a risk to make the one big play. So what I need are guys with kill shot ability, and I think that comes in 2 forms. One, the dudes at edge rushers. And these are the people by, very quick. You could see a silhouette of them and you would know, right? If you showed me you removed all names and numbers and team logos from Myles Garrett rushing, from Max Crosby rushing, from TJ Watt rushing, from those guys, I would be able to identify them all. If you get one of those guys at edge rusher or somebody you think might be one of those guys at edge rusher, somebody who can take the opposing team in a 2-minute drill, hey, all right, first down, they complete it for 4. Get out of bounds, stop the clock. 2nd and 6. If you can turn that into 3rd and 16, that's the player you need. Offensively, home run threats. And this could come at any skill position. Speed and a nose for it. There are certain running backs who have speed, but they're almost too disciplined, right? They're always going to press it to the block. They're always going to go exactly where the hole is. Then there's running backs with speed who drive their running backs coaches crazy because they're always trying to bounce it, right? They're always trying to hunt for the big play. I think there's a time for that, right? If the Panthers took a 1-score lead, defense gets a stop, it's sometime in the second half. Running the football is conservative, but a lot of ways it's the right thing to do, right? Take time off the clock, shorten the game, all of that. If you can get a long touchdown run there, it's a kill shot, right? If unless you have one of the dudes at quarterback on the other sideline, a lot of times second half, a 14-point lead feels insurmountable. And the Panthers almost never put that 14-point lead out there. And that's not to say they don't have good players. I think they have players that a lot of teams would want, but they just don't have that other thing, right? They don't have that other gear. And maybe McMillan can be that. Maybe Jimmy Horn can be that. But I want somebody who's certified. I want somebody who is locked in on chasing big plays. And you know what? Just to put a name out there, and this is – I'm not like stamping it, right? Early in the offseason, plenty of time to make this decision. But I'm seeing some say they should go after Alec Pierce from the Colts, who's going to be a free agent this offseason. He had like 58 catches and went over 1,000 yards, right? He was a big play waiting to happen. I think his price might be a little inflated because of the season he just had, so maybe not him, but somebody with that skill set. Somebody with that skill set would make sense. And last offseason, Dennis and I were both high on players like Brashard Smith out of SMU, a running back who ran an exceptionally fast 40. Somebody like Bashul Tutin, who was drafted in the mid-rounds by Jacksonville. He had the fastest running back 40 at the Combine out of Virginia Tech. If those players or those style of players are available, that's what I think they're missing.
Who's the home run hitter?
Who is it?
You can hit a lot of singles and doubles with this team. But who's the home run hitter?
And I want to be clear, I'm not disparaging the singles and doubles hitter. Somebody got to get on base. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to hit the singles. But you also need somebody that can clear the bases. You also need the kill shot. Right? The way like a Derek Brown works, the way that the interior defensive line works is they make so many of the mundane plays. Right? What's the point of Derek Brown being so good stopping the run and turning every 1st and 10 into 2nd and 9 if you don't have somebody to take advantage of the passing downs that he's putting them in? Right? If he stops the run, makes it 2nd and 9 every drive, and then the next play is the quarterback has all the time in the world and completes a 10-yard pass, you're taking away some of what he does. So I'm looking for super high ceiling players at specific edge rusher and then running back, wide receiver, home run threats.
You hope that a guy like Nick Scorton or Princely Umamielen continue to develop. I mean, Scorton had tied for the team lead with 5 sacks this season. Hopefully, you anticipate he takes another step. You would like to see Princely Umamielen get just more snaps in general.
I think there's both development that needs to happen with those guys, and they're both very young.
Yes.
You're betting on the upside. I like betting on the upside, but not depending on the upside, if that makes any sense. Because if Nick Scorton ends up being just a tremendous 3-down defensive lineman that can stop the run, is super, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? That's pretty good. I don't know if he'll ever be, without showing a little bit more speed and bend and all that. I don't know if he'll ever be like a 15 sack guy. And not saying you have to be 15 because that's a ton, but 12, like you need a couple of dudes that can threaten that. And I haven't seen it on their roster yet.
I mean, gosh, look at what Houston did last night with Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson.
It's unbelievable how committed Aaron Rodgers is to not getting hit.
Right?
He was like, I'm getting this ball out quick.
But it goes to show you what a game wrecker up front can do for your offense or for your defense.
And I don't – this sounds weird. I don't need them in the first half because when both teams are jabbing and they're just feeling each other out, the rest of the team for the Panthers played super solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's when the game comes down to, whoever makes the next big play might win the game for their team. They don't have those home run hitters to look for. And that's so often when the true pass rushers show up. Like if the Panthers are up 7 in the fourth quarter, that's when you need the guy who's like, oh, they're going to throw it, aren't they? Rubbing their hands together like, I'm coming now. They haven't really had that. Probably since Brian Burns was here, and even Brian Burns always felt, banged up and things. That's what you need. That's what I'm looking for. And at pick 19 in the draft, you may have to settle more for like what's available. Mm-hmm. So going in with a little bit more vague rather than like I need a left tackle because you don't want to force that if there's no left tackle there. But if you say like, hey, I need whoever has the biggest home run ability, could be an offensive skill position, could be an edge rusher, like that is opens up your possibilities a little bit that one of them does fall to you at 19.
Yeah, ball hawking safety.
A ball hawking safety would work.
Would love that.
Like you saw what Xavier Watts did to the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
There's somebody that gets their hands on the ball a lot would definitely count. Gosh, an interception a few times this year. What would one interception have done in the fourth quarter of a game to keep our all relative stress levels down? Just one more big play, and the whole thing is like, all right, let's take a victory formation, take knees to end the game rather than sweating out field goals. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I talk a lot about 2-minute drills because so many NFL games end up coming down to the last minute or two. In big sporting events, you need to make sure you trust who's keeping time. How about this, everybody? Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. There's no sporting event bigger than the Olympics, and Omega has been the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games since 1932. So, right, when you're looking at your watch to decide, how much time you have before your next meeting, I guarantee you Omega can work considering they're going down to the high-speed, extreme cold, 10th of a second that you need to decide who finishes in first and second in downhill skiing or speed skating or any of these other events where, every 100th of a second matters. And Bailey's Fine Jewelry is proud to feature the largest Omega showroom in the country, offering unmatched opportunity to explore the brand's full collection. If you walk into Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location, you make a hard left, you'll see it. My 4-year-old son calls it the Moon Room because they have the Speedmaster, the Moon Watch. So there's a big poster of the moon in there. So he always calls it the Moon Room. You go into the Moon Room, a.k.a. the Omega Showroom. Every case has like a completely different model, right? You might have the Speedmasters, the Seamasters, the DeVilles, the World Timers. You need to go to every case, find out what speaks to you, and then speak to the experts at Bailey's Fine Jewelry to help you pick out your dream watch. In addition to the Omega showroom, there's the pre-owned and vintage Rolex, the Blancpain, the Glashütte Original, the entire Fox & Bailey watch shop. Whatever you're looking for, they have it. When you stop by, just make sure you tell them you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan, Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Copper Drop is coming up next, and at 4:33, we do have first goal scorer predictions. If you haven't done so already, start thinking about it. Who scores the first goal for the Canes tonight and in what period? Stick around. All of that next.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and St. Louis.
Stankoven, 4 in a row! Logan Stankoven!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck Drop at 7:30.
Stahl, Slavin, score! Jacob Slavin!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay-Varina. And people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $20,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500 RST. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know a lot of people struggle with the New Year's resolution, sticking with the plan. This is where Raleigh Weight Loss Center comes in, folks. It's an actual plan for you to follow. You stick with the plan, you follow the guidelines, you're going to see results. I joined Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I lost over 40 pounds, lost over 15% on my body weight, and it's the new year. Get on that plan. That person can be you. No shots or injections, no side effects, no steroids, no HGH, no juicing up. It's all about resetting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. Give them a call at 919-897-7506 or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. Again, free 15-minute phone call. You got questions, you got concerns, you got health issues, bring that all to the table. Have all those questions answered. 919-897-7506 or RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute phone consultation. Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Results may vary.
Canes right back into the zone. Now hanging on. Gostisbehere. He shoots, he scores! They've come all the way back! A power play goal! And the Canes, with 3:01 left in the third, have tied it at 3. Shane Gostisbehere haunts his former team, the Red Wings.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Copper Drop and first goal scorer predictions in the next few minutes here. But before we get to any of that, chance for you to win.
Go on.
Got a bunch of winners out there.
All right.
Winners. Five Finger Death Punch is coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park in October 14th. Their 20th anniversary world tour. 2 decades of Five Finger Death Punch. Their 20th anniversary world tour with special guests Cody Jinks and Eva Under Fire. Visit 999thefan.com or download our 99.9 The Fan app to enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets do go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m., but obviously jump on our website, 99.9 The Fan and 999thefan.com to win a pair. At least take that chance. Tickets on sale this Friday, 10 a.m., another reminder. That's how you can be a winner. There you go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As promised, it is now time for Copper Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, Tim, first question here on Cop or Drop. Cop or Drop. Carolina Panthers general manager Dan Morgan should contact Mike Tomlin. Cop or Drop?
Contact him to consult, to ask him some questions, to
contact Mike Tomlin.
Here's the thing. Not if anyone's ever going to find out about it. I'm a big fan of Mike Tomlin, and so I think there's only a handful of teams out there that I would say shouldn't consider Mike Tomlin if he makes it clear that he wants to coach your team. I'm going to say no. I'm dropping it. They should not reach out. But, make sure you have his number saved in your phone and the caller ID is there. So if he calls you, you're picking up quick. Like, don't make that bad boy go to the third ring. Here's how I would assume Mike Tomlin is going to operate. And this is a guess. but here's how I assume it would work. I think he's going to do TV for a year, and he will wait for his perfect job, right? Something that is outlandishly perfect. You have a franchise quarterback, you have a strong defense, you have a high pick, you have all the cap space. And he might come out for that. If not, he'll stay in media, right? I believe the same thing was said about Bill Cowher, that Bill Cowher was going to do the media thing for a year or two, reset, and then perhaps go back to coaching. And now you're looking at 20 years into the future, and he's still just doing the media thing, still hanging out. So maybe that happens for Tomlin. But I don't see a job this go around that is going to entice him to jump right back into coaching.
All right, next question here on Cop or Drop. A current staff member for the Carolina Panthers will be hired by another team. Cop or Drop. Like, for example, Evero, Evero, defensive coordinator, getting hired as a head coach, or maybe Brad Isaac as an offensive coordinator gets hired to be a play caller for another team. There's even rumblings a couple position coaches might get.
Cooley is the one I keep hearing about.
So Cop or Drop. A current staff member for the Carolina Panthers will be hired and promoted by another team. Cop or Drop.
I'm dropping.
Oh, really? Okay.
Jonathan Cooley is the one I keep hearing about. Defensive pass game coordinator, could be in line somewhere to get an opportunity to call defensive plays. Hearing similar things about Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator, right? I don't think he's in the mix for head coaching jobs, but it would be a promotion for him to go somewhere where he could have the same title, offensive coordinator, but call plays. And Evero, obviously, the last handful of years has been interviewing for head coaching jobs. Here's why. Evero might be the one that doesn't fit what I'm about to say. Usually there's a cycle or two where you interview for jobs before you start getting offers, right? It's almost like you need to go practice interviewing, right? You take all the interviews and then you go back to your place, you go back to your team, and if you have another good year, you're no longer just on the interview list, you're on the we might actually hire them list. So that's where I think they are this year, right? You're going to go out, you're going to interview, you're going to get used to the process. I don't know if you're actually in the mix for some of these jobs, but next year you might be if you handle yourself well. So I just think they're 1 year away, another good year away from starting to lose some guys to other coaching positions elsewhere.
All right, let's shift our focus to the ice. Carolina Hurricanes. Cop or Drop? The Carolina Hurricanes will make a trade before the Olympic roster freeze of February 4th. Cop or Drop?
Yes, I'll cop it.
Okay. By the way, real quick, before you explain this, the NHL, while the Olympics are taking place, the rosters are quote unquote frozen. So you can't trade anybody or any of those things. Can't put anyone on waivers, whatever it might be. So from February 4th to February 22nd, that basically essentially 3 weeks, you can't make a trade. But then once the rosters are unfrozen February 22nd, you have until, I believe, the March 13th trade deadline, I think is when it is. So literally 2 months from today. But a lot of teams are using February 4th as almost like an early trade deadline. So you say cop, but they will trade someone before the roster freeze.
The question that I would have had a much harder time answering is it like a big trade? Because I do believe that that first mini deadline, the before the roster freeze, will draw action across the NHL. People will want to do it before the freeze. And with that, the Canes are always in the mix. It might even just be like, hey, throw us a third, we'll eat some salary, right? That might be the weird little Jankowski trade, like it was a year ago. They just stay opportunistic. Eric Tulsky stays ready for those kind of moves. Now, will it be what everybody's expecting, like a big Kokiniemi trade or something to acquire? Who is it? I guess Thomas is the one everyone's talking about now.
Tage Thompson?
No. Anyway, I don't want to. There's just rumors.
Oh, by the way, March 6th is the trade deadline, so we're less than 2 months away.
I would say I'm copping some kind of trade that they'll be involved in. I would guess March 6th would be closer to the time where you would see like a blockbuster. But I think they'll do, they'll shuffle something, prospect here, pick there, a little bit of cash, whatever. Pick up another fourth liner, something. Something before the freeze.
Okay. Cop or Drop? The Carolina Hurricanes will trade for a goaltender. Cop or drop?
Interesting. Dropping, and it's for the same reason I've been dropping it for a long time, which is in order to trade for one has to be available. And teams just don't give up goaltenders that would improve a contender. Perhaps there's some projects out there, some young guys that might be available, but the Canes don't want to the one thing that we keep hearing from Elliot Friedman, and this is involving a Kotkaniemi trade, but I think the logic applies, is like they want to get things back that will help them now, right? They don't want to get things back or something that they can flip to help them now, right? If you're getting like tremendous trade value or draft value, you can flip that quickly. I don't see a lot of goaltenders out there that are like ready-made, plug-and-play. You'll trust them in a playoff game. Teams just don't give those guys up. There's not that many of them. So I think they'll be in the mix. I think they'll call about all of the goalies that are out there. I just don't know if they'll actually reach the deal. So I think what you can do now is just hope Brandon Bussey's hot streak lasts forever and ever, and you help Freddie Anderson settles down and can be a dependable number 2. But I just don't – not that they don't try to make a trade or they don't think they need to make a trade. I just don't know if those trades exist.
Speaking of Brandon Bussey, cop or drop. Brandon Bussey starts game 1 of the playoffs. Cop or drop?
Copping. The moment I kind of rolled with that is after he had the Montreal game, which was not good. After he had the Montreal game, which was not good, and he came back and played solid in the next game, I went, yep, that's all. That's what I needed to see there. He's already proven darn near everything as far as like tacticians on the ice, techniques on the ice, aside from he does get out of the net and play the puck too much and turn it over and put himself in bad situations. But other than that, he's shown a lot, and now that I'm more confident in the mental side, I think he's your number 1 goaltender.
All right, let's quickly shift focus. I know we have 3 minutes here until we have first goal score predictions.
Correct.
But let's shift focus over here to college basketball. Cop or drop? Duke basketball will get a 1 seed. Cop or drop?
Yeah, I'm copping.
1 seed of the NCAA tournament, by the way.
Oh, that's what I was assuming, but
yes.
I guess clarification is necessary. Yeah, I think they get a 1 seed. I think the ACC will help them get a 1 seed for the first time in a long time. They're going to have more big wins. They're still going to play Louisville again. They have to play UNC twice. And then there's a host of other quad 1 games. So, even if they, I'm not saying they got to go undefeated, but they're going to have some, I would assume they're going to have some big wins still to come. And I think that'll be enough. I don't know if they'll be number 1 overall, but you didn't ask me that. You just asked 1 seed. So, yeah, I think they'll be a 1 seed. And also, with the ACC being better, I think the committee, like, all right, we need an ACC representative 1 seed. Like, that when you're in a really good conference, it eats into the committee.
All right, next one here. Cop or drop? UNC will be a 5 seed or better in the NCAA tournament. Cop or drop?
A 5 seed or better?
Yeah. So a 5, 4, 3, 2, or a 1 seed?
Yeah, I'll cop that. Similarly, I think the win-loss record won't have to be as good as it would have had to be recently to get that, because they're in a conference that is going to come with a little bit more respect.
I think early projections have them right around a 4 seed as of right now. Which is fine.
Yeah, I think they'll improve. I think really all 3 teams in the triangle, because they aren't. Maybe I don't want to say this, but they are all depending on some young guys. A lot of the teams that are at their level are very transfer portal, very veteran heavy. And I just expect freshmen to get better faster than old guys, because we kind of know what they are.
Final one real quick. Cop or drop? NC State men's basketball makes the NCAA tournament. Cop or drop?
I'm copping. There's still the advanced analytics really like them. A lot of the net rankings, the Ken Palms, the whatevers. They really like what they've done, and I think those numbers are starting to matter more and more in the committee. So give me them to make it.
They are ranked 31st in the net.
31st, and if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know why there's 31 at-large teams that make it into the NCAA tournament.
34,
right?
maybe?
34, something like that. And I assume a good chunk of the ones above them will win conferences, so they won't be at-large.
Yeah.
So, right now they're projected in.
And the ACC schools that are in the top 33 right now, you have Duke is 4, Virginia 16, Louisville 18, UNC 23. Again, this is net rankings. SMU 25, Clemson 28, NC State 31, Miami 33. All those teams are 33 and above.
8 teams for the ACC in the tournament would be lovely. That'd be a huge improvement. I will take that. You know what else I will take? First goal scorer predictions. Call in now if you have a first goal scorer hunch, a prediction. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Who will score the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes tonight on the road in St. Louis? And also, what period will that first goal be scored? 919-860-5326. You will also be able to send us some extra details for bragging rights. But the 2 things you absolutely need are first goal scorer, who scores it, and in what period. 919-860-5326. Call in now. As Dennis goes ahead and lines up those calls, I will give you the update on the 99.9 The Fan personalities that also want to lock in some predictions, receipts, so we have something to look back at. Paul Ihander, the host of Next Up, 9 to 10 every weekday morning. First period, Stankoven, 5-on-5 is his extra detail. Logan Stankoven had a 4-game goal streak going into last night, and I'm not even sure he took a shot. So maybe he's saving him up for the second half of the back-to-back. Max, the producer of Next Up, Martinook in the first, going Party Marty on that one. Adam Gold, I think he's just trying to rile up the KK supporters and or not supporters. He took Kokiniemi in the first.
Oh, look at that. Let's get the hive going.
Just, I'm sure Adam, like many of us, gets accused of not liking Kokiniemi. So maybe this is I picked him to be the first goal scorer. Victoria went with Jarvis in the first, said in the first 10 minutes, thinks Jarvis gets going quickly, and we'll get to Dennis and my picks after we hear from a couple of you. First, Manny is up. Manny, welcome to the show. Who scores the first goal and in what period?
Martinook in the first.
Martinook in the first? Is that what you said? You broke up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other details you want to lock in? What type of goal it is or any of the context?
I'm going to go with the slap shot goal.
Slap shot. All right, Manny, thank you very much for calling in. Good luck to you on the prediction. And that means we get to go now to Brandon. Brandon, can you hear me? Brandon, are you there?
Yes, actually Randy, but yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, Randy. Brandon, Randy, it's all there. No disrespect intended. Who scores the first goal of the game and in what period?
I feel like first period, I think Jarvis gets it on the board on a breakaway.
On a breakaway. All right. Jarvis on a breakaway in the first, locked in. Good luck to you. All the bragging rights in the world on the line.
Go Canes.
Go Canes. Do you know what's fun about the way that the Canes have been playing recently? There's really only, granted, Adam did pick Kokiniemi, which would be a more outlandish one. There's only like 4 or 5 names that if somebody were to tell me on a first goal score prediction they were taking, that I would go like, whoa, all right, I see what you're doing, going off the board on that one. The way they're playing, like most of the forwards and a good portion of the defensemen, if you picked them, I would go, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Which that's I don't know if everybody realizes how much of an advantage that is for a roster.
Mm-hmm.
That there's so many plausible goal scorers going into any game. There's really no time for the opposing team to take a rest. With that being said, maybe Dennis will surprise us. Dennis, who's your first goal scorer prediction?
Someone who's been a little quiet the last couple of games gets it back going. Give me Nikolai Ehlers in the first.
Oh. Why Ehlers? Just do?
Yeah, just do.
Yeah.
It's been a few games since that line, that top line of he, Aho, and Svech as a whole. I know Aho impacted the power play goal as well as a shorthanded goal, so he got his points on special teams. But in terms of 5-on-5 play, that line's kind of teetering a little bit. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Rod actually shuffles the lines maybe just a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me. But I still think Aho in the first. I'm sorry, Ehlers in the first. From Aho. There it is.
Okay, I'll add that. That was a little Freudian slip.
It was.
Well, your Freudian slip is actually my prediction.
Oh, okay.
Aho in the first.
There you go.
He got a 10-minute misconduct after the game yesterday, arguing the call that wasn't made against Gostisbehere. and if you've been listening to this show really at any point in time during the hockey season of the last 3 years, you know my favorite Sebastian Aho is Angry Aho. So I'm hoping he takes some of that anger from post-game yesterday and rolls it right into this one in St. Louis. And also, I think Aho, obviously he's a leader, but I think he senses the locker room in a lot of ways and kind of, okay, everybody's a little tired. Late night game, cross the country, had to travel, had to get ready quickly for a back-to-back on the road. I'll spark him. All right, I'll be the guy that forces the energy early. I think he's going to be aggressive, particularly in the first period, and I think it leads to a goal. And then get a little fist pump, and he's got the mouthpiece half in, half out like Steph Curry, and he's doing we get the whole Aho experience. So Aho in the first is what we're looking for.
That exact same explanation you had is the same explanation that Tim on our online YouTube chat said. Give me Ghosts in the first period. He's coming in hot after the missed penalty in overtime.
The great Tims think alike.
Yeah.
Gosh, that would be great. If Gostisbehere should score, and do you know what his celebration should be?
Cross-checking him.
Flopping. It should be like he got pushed from behind after he scores the goal.
Will Park said, give me Gostisbehere in the first period on a feed from Aho.
I like that.
I mean, granted, they did connect on a power play goal yesterday, so there's that. We actually have Nikolai Ehlers in the second period. We have a Jankowski in the first. We also have
Jankowski was the first goal scorer a couple of games ago. That's and it was in the second. That's an impressive first goal scorer if you get it, but it's even more so if you think like, boom, it's going to happen again, which is more impressive.
You have Eric Robinson in the second on a 2-on-1 with Aho.
Robinson's a perfect example, though. Like, whatever, a lot of other teams' versions, like the guy who plays the Eric Robinson role on other teams, if you make a first goal scorer prediction of that player, it's like, oh, geez, you're going way off the board. But Robinson kind of feels like, no, there's a chance. He's a good skater, can get out there, can finish. Like, it's not that outlandish. It's not as likely as maybe Jarvis, but it's still like their depth shows in like how we react to first goal scorer predictions. I think there's a lot of teams where if you pick like 50% of their players, you'd go, whoa, crazy. But with the Canes, it's significantly less than 50%. So there you go. Locked in first goal scorer predictions. It's been a while since we've had a just an absolute dunk. One of us flushes it right down the middle, gets it right. Hopefully we can get back on the winning track today. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have more audio to play for you from Dan Morgan's presser earlier, the Panthers GM. But before we get to any of that, Dennis Cox, something for you.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. By the way, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Loan Pronto. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get out a ton of cash. You can pay off all those high-interest credit cards and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait, folks. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. What did Dan Morgan say today about the Carolina Panthers offseason ahead? Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
I've been saying for a while we got to find out what we've got in Brandon Bussey, and the only way to do that is to see how he bounces back from adversity. Well, the start against the Canadiens has provided that adversity, and now we'll see going forward how he reacts. Does he bounce back and play great in his next start? Does he string a whole bunch of great starts together? Then we'll know.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. But why do they call it Dauntless Transmissions? Well, dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Now, the experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore SmithDouglas.com. Smith Douglas, where it's your home, your choice, within reach.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Panthers made the playoffs. Still got to remind yourself that it
don't know if you'd heard.
It actually happened. You weren't dreaming. They made the playoffs, and they had a lead with like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game against the Los Angeles Rams. Maybe that's when you should have started taking a nap and dreaming, because the rest wasn't that fun. Rams went down and won the game. But Panthers made the postseason. They won the division. They were in it all the way to the end against the Rams. And the question becomes, how much does that change the offseason that's up ahead for the Panthers? Okay? Right? If you win 5 games like you did last year, or 2 games like you did 2 years ago, your offseason is pretty obvious, right? You're still in your rebuild. You're still moving on from older players and trying to get younger and looking for diamonds in the rough. And you're not buying veterans, right? You're not going to get the 30-plus guy who fills a need, because you're more than that away, right? You're not 1 or 2 guys away. Once you make the postseason, once you win the division, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but it is significantly more tempting to go splash the league in free agency, right? Or to trade multiple picks to go up and get your guy in the draft, which when you're rebuilding is foolish, right? Because you need as many dart throws as possible. It's more sense to be made trading back than trading up. So the question automatically becomes, how much do you buy into an 8-9 division championship and an almost playoff win when it comes to, are you a legit contender now that should be changing the way your offseason operates? And Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Panthers, spoke to the media today, kind of his beginning of the offseason state of the team address, and he was asked about being balanced and how that measures against being aggressive with how the team played.
We're always going to have the win now mentality. Even last year we had the win now mentality. We're going to do what's best, just for the organization, and we're going to trust our plan. We're going to trust our processes. We're not going to be reckless, but at the same time, we're going to bring talent in here. We're going to make moves that we, feel like will help us out in the future, and who that is, whether it's a free agent or draft, or we're going to attack it, and we're going to make the right moves.
Now, a good hefty portion of that answer is coach speak, right? Because, we're always going to be win now. Well, yes, like nobody's out there trying to lose games, but how you're attacking win now is kind of the question. Are you still attacking win now as if you have a billion roster holes, so you you need a bunch of picks and a bunch of players? Or are you attacking win now as if we feel we're 2 players away from beating the Rams, so let's go spend, because we have cap space, on 2 guys that fill those exact holes and we're good? I believe the Panthers this offseason is about like an aggressive amount of self-control, because the temptation will be very strong to go spend a lot for 1 or 2 top shelf items, when I think what they've been doing each offseason is still the way to go. Right? I still think there needs to be a decent amount of roster turnover. I still think they need to chase youth. If it comes down to it, and they feel the only way to solve a problem is to go splash in free agency and spend a bunch of money, if it comes down to somebody who's 32 and somebody who's 29, I think you pay the premium for 29. I think if it comes down to, 1 player or 3 younger players, I think you go 3 younger players. I don't think this is a team where you start making I'm trying to think of the best example here. Von Miller was this move for like 3 teams in a row, right? It was the Rams, like, hey, we might be an edge rusher away. In season, they went and got Von Miller. Buffalo was like, hey, we may be an edge rusher away. They went and got Von Miller. I don't think the Panthers are anywhere near there. If they're picking 19th and somebody offers them, a later first and another pick that's of significant value, I think you take it. I don't think this is a team that, because you were close against the Rams, should tremendously accelerate what they think their potential is based on what they do.
Yeah, there's a team picking at like 26 that wants to move up, then hey, we'll give you our first round pick in a third. Yeah, why not?
You take it and you laugh to the bank, like you're excited about that. I think it's occasionally a test of your front office if you overperform. And you know who actually is the best example of this? This is exactly what I'm trying to establish. The Washington Commanders. Now, they did it to a much greater extent. But remember last year, the Washington Commanders, they make the conference championship game? They were not that good of a team. Now, they made it there. You can't take it away from them. But I don't believe they were actually one of the 4 best teams in the league. They might not have been one of the 8 to 10 best teams in the league. But they made it to the conference championship, and then what happened? This offseason, they went Deebo Samuel, went and got all these older guys and paid them big money and went all in for this year, and it turns out they were significantly more than those players away from getting back to where they were the year before. But how they played late in the season and how they played in the postseason made them think they were further along than they actually were. And that's a test of self-control, because they were so close. It's got to feel so tempting to just go all in and buy the vets and do everything that shortens your window, but they're kind of in a tough spot now.
Yeah, you don't want to sign a bunch of guys that are just older 1-year contracts, because then you're old and you're bad, and then all that you're spending picks to try and get win now mode. I don't think Carolina's in that position. If anything, I think Carolina, like you said, with that first round pick 19, if you get a chance to move back a little bit and acquire a little bit more capital and still get someone that you like, you're 100% still in that position. You need more darts at the dartboard, because for the most part, the 2025 draft class, they all contributed in some way, shape, or form throughout the year, including unsigned guys as well. You need to continue to build your roster that way.
And free agency similarly, right? Somebody like Trevon Merrick, you saw something more in him, right? You weren't going out and buying the biggest free agents. You were buying the ones that you thought there's a market correction that will come with this player, right? They thought Merrick was better in coverage than many did, so they were going to play him in a different way. Rico Dowdle, right? You find a 1,000-yard rusher on the bargain basement pile, you bring him in. That's still what their offseason is about. There's going to be temptation to go, call up the Steelers now that Mike Tomlin's not their coach anymore and say, what's the price on TJ Watt? And they're going to say, well, most of your firstborns from the state of North Carolina and a couple right legs. Like they're going to ask for the world. I don't think you're there yet. It's going to be tempting to call up the Raiders and say, what's the price on Max Crosby? And they're going to say, well, all of your first rounders from now until 2038. And you're going to go, no, it's not there yet. There might be a time when you're there. I don't think you're there yet. I think you can continue to build the way you've been building. It's been working. It's been working. Dan Morgan also talked about that 19th pick. And you know, are they chasing a need, best available? What's the strategy? Here's Dan Morgan.
You know, I think you never really want to force a need. Now, if it's equal and you have two guys up on the board and they're even, I'm always going to go with the need. But yeah, I think with that pick, you know, ideally you draft best available. You don't force a need, because I feel like, in my experience, when you force a need, it really doesn't always turn out that good. So we're just going to draft good football players, and then same thing with free agency. We're just going to sign good football players. So that doesn't mean we're not going to attack the needs in some way, whether free agency or draft, but definitely just want to bring good football players, good culture people into this building.
Best player available, best player available, best player available. However, you also have to, you know, you need your economics professor, right, which I assume is Brant Tillis. You need somebody there to make sure that you're not overspending, because that's just poor value. But I'm so far away. Like I think they are a long way back. They have to go so far to get to a point where you're drafting for need. I mean, is there a player outside of drafting quarterback, right? Because you just don't need two of them. I don't think there's a position they don't need to improve. Outside corner, maybe, but then like, okay, if they're so stacked at outside corner, move one of them into nickel and you're good. Like, there's the safety they need, off-ball backer they need, edge rusher they need, interior defensive lineman, maybe they're doing okay there, but that's also a position where you tend to rotate guys in and you still need depth.
Center, I think, could be an upgrade.
Center, interior offensive line, so often you can rotate through there. Definitely need. With the Ike Ekwonu news, definitely need tackle. Wide receiver, I really like Tedero McMillan and Jalen Coker. Everything else could probably be upgraded. Tight end could definitely be upgraded. Running back, I mean, unless Jonathan Brooks, you can guarantee me he's going to stay healthy. Rico Dowdle ain't coming back. You're going to need some depth there. There's really not a single position that I don't think they could improve on. So, of course you're taking best player available. I guess what the point of this whole little conversation here is don't become so intoxicated with a playoff appearance and an almost win that you start buying items like you are nearly there. You're not nearly there. It's nice that you got that experience, but you still need to operate quite, like, if there's a spectrum of like rebuild or win now, I still think they're towards rebuild. They're just not all the way to the rebuild like they have been the last couple of years. They've gotten off their own end zone. They're somewhere like the 25-yard line, but still on their own side of the field. As far as how they should operate. Then you go win games and keep advancing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Did I say building? Building. Sparks to construction, residential housing. Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Whether it's residential or commercial, actually, they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. Manor Service Company is the expert you need to have saved in your phone. I'll give you the number in a second. But it does truly come down to that, right? Construction, how your house was built, you can't really control all of that, right? Did the electrician do everything to code inside your walls, or is there a little stuff that looks foreign or looks crazy? Whatever it is, Manor Service Company knows how to work with it because they've been in the business for decades and decades and decades. Every kind of surprise, right? Anybody that watches those home improvement shows, if you take down a wall, there's a surprise in there. Right? Oh, look at how they wired this. Oh, look at the plumbing. Oh, I've never seen this before. Manor Service Company has seen it before, and if they haven't, they know how to fix it. So give them a call. Heating system, cooling system, plumbing, electrical, whatever issues you're dealing with in your house, Manor Service Company has seen it before, and they know how to fix it. The number, 919-361-0993. That number, once again, 919-361-0993. 93, or visit them online, ManorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Up next, we have the starting five, including 2 minutes of gold, all about the Canes' loss last night. in Detroit. Stick around.
Listen for college football's best through January 19th. From the Military Bowl to the Natty in Miami, every major bowl game will be brought to you live.
The Miami Hurricanes are headed back to the championship game, and they'll have a chance to win it at their home stadium. Miami 31, Ole Miss 27.
Bowl season on 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports is presented by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Rascal Flats, Life is a Highway Tour 2026. January 15th, Lenovo Center, Raleigh.
Like the sound of that.
Country music's greatest vocal group, Rascal Flats.
I like the sound of
Back on the road. With special guests, Chris Lane and Lauren Elena. On sale now at livenation.com. Rascal Flats Live, presented by Live Nation.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. It's fairly mild for January. Temperatures are in the 40s this evening, and heading into the overnight, lows dip into the upper 30s. Wednesday, the clouds return and perhaps a few sprinkles, but don't expect much in the way of rain. 56 the high, then it turns cold and windy with Arctic air Thursday.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 398 points to 49,192.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5, and as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
Carolina Hurricanes lost in overtime to Detroit last night on the road. Controversial no call at the end of the game. Gostisbehere in overtime in position to defend and got cross-checked. No call. The guy that cross-checked him gets a pretty wide open shot, finishes the game. For more details on that game, leading up to and including that final play, here's 2 minutes of gold from our very own Adam Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 pieces of heavy metal that helped to get in the way of Carolina getting 2 points from Detroit last night. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. So Carolina was excellent in the first period, but you know who was better? The goalpost behind John Gibson.
Oh, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, hey, Mr. Postman.
Carolina going to work. Nikishin! It rings off the inside of the post. A quick shot by Alexander Nikishin. And it had Gibson beat. Aho, he'll come with this puck, 2-on-1. Aho with Jarvis. Aho waits, drag, shoots, hits the post.
It's the same post Nikishin hit.
Yep, Same post, heavy both times. Both could have, should have, might have. We wished they were goals because Carolina would have gotten what they deserved out of the first period, which was a lead. Carolina was significantly better than Detroit. The Red Wings cashed in on the early power play, and there you go. Did Carolina get back into the game? Oh, you betcha. You betcha they did. Carolina scored 2 on the power play, 1 shorthanded in the third to rally all the way back, and the equalizing goal coming at 5-on-3.
Canes right back into the zone. Hanging on, Gostisbehere. He shoots and scores! They've come all the way back! A power play goal! And the Canes, with 3:01 left in the third, have tied it at 3. Shane Gostisbehere haunts his former team, the Red Wings.
Canes got into overtime, and in overtime, Shane Gostisbehere was kind of cross-checked in front of the net by Andrew Kopp, who scored the game-winning goal, and Aho and Gostisbehere each got 10-minute misconducts after the game for arguing, which I think is kind of justified. But, all right, you got a point. Move on. See everybody in St. Louis. Canes at least got something out of the game. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep. Sound health. Sound off for better officiating, smaller goalposts, 2 points tomorrow.
Thank you very much to Adam Gold for 2 minutes of gold there. It was very, like, there's a lot of traits of that game that are just stereotypical, right down the middle Canes traits. Corey Lavalette posted this. The 5-on-5 shot attempts, 61-22. Sorry. Yeah, 22. There you go.
Yeah.
Fewest Carolina has allowed this season.
Quite insane.
Freddie did settle down after a little rough start there, which you like to see. And just the lack of panic they were down 3 early. Lack of panic. They storm back, almost pull it off. Part of me does say on Fedorov night, there was no way they were making that call. You know what I mean? You know what the Canes should have done? They should have also worn all the white skates that Detroit was wearing to honor Fedorov. Just come out and be like, oh, we're going to mind trick you right back. Either way, Canes lost, but it was an overtime. They get the point. Tonight, you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. They're back on the road. It is a radio-only broadcast for Mike Maniscalco, Trip Tracy, and the crew. So if you want to hear our favorites, you got to tune into right here, 99.9 The Fan, or the 99.9 The Fan app. And the game does start a half hour later than it usually does. So 7:30, you get to, enjoy your dinner a little bit longer before you got to hunker down for the game. That is number 5. How about number 4?
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
So the next round of the NFL playoffs are set. I do have to ask this question because as a former quarterback, it makes no sense to me. How does C.J. Stroud throw a bad interception, put the ball on the ground 5 times, and walk away with like an easy victory? They won by 24. I feel like if I had a 2 or 3 turnover game, we lost by 100 every single time. In football, you shouldn't be able to put the ball in harm's way that much. You know what the answer to the question is? That Texans defense is real.
Yeah, they are.
They are real. Which, looking at the rest of the NFL playoffs, good luck Drake May. Drake May catches them next. The Broncos, the 1 seed, will host the Bills. The Patriots will host the Texans over there on the AFC side. That's pretty ridiculous. If you are Drake May, buckle up. That Houston Texans defense is real. On the other side, the 1 seed Seattle will host the 49ers. It's a little divisional matchup there. The Niners are... Some of this is kind of fun for me because I'm not a Niners fan, right? Obviously. But I do appreciate good coaching and scheming, and Kyle Shanahan just keeps being told, like, all right, you made it happen without those 4 guys. Let's take away another. Can you do it still? Right? All right. Brandon Ayuk, not allowed. Not allowed to play with Brandon Ayuk anymore. Oh, you're still playing well? All right, we're going to take away most of your defense. Fred Warner, Bosa. All right, we're going to take away Ricky Pearsall. Most recently, George Kittle popped his Achilles in that win over the Eagles. So now they're going into the Seahawks without another weapon. You know who's going to have the ball 1,000 times? Christian McCaffrey. And then Rams-Bears. Do you know there's only one quarterback left that has won a Super Bowl? Matt Stafford. Think about that. 4 quarterbacks that are left are on a rookie contract. Maybe that's the thing that the Panthers need to take advantage of. Because guess what? They're picking up Bryce Young's contract, the 5th-year option, which means you have one more year of what I call rent control, right? A true rookie contract for Bryce Young. The next year you have like partial rent control, right? He'll be making like $27, $28 million, which is still a discount on what the top end guys are making. But it's not like true rookie contract money. Panthers might have to, if they want to take advantage of the rookie contract, they got to get it done pretty quickly. 4 of the 8 remaining quarterbacks in the playoffs are still on rookie contracts. It's pretty telling right there. And there's just not that many football games left, so enjoy them while we got them. National championship on college, and then we got this weekend, conference championship weekend, and the Super Bowl. That's it. That is number 4. How about number 3?
If you root for the Steelers, entertaining them is winning. And so when you're not winning, it's not entertaining. And if you've been in this business, you understand that. And so I respect it. I share frustrations. I understand what makes this thing go, and winning is what makes this thing go.
Mike Tomlin, the voice you just heard there, sympathizing and empathizing with Steelers fans. No longer the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. First time in nearly 20 years. You can say that and then be truthful. Mike Tomlin has stepped down from being the head coach of the Steelers, which does that. The ripple effects of that will be felt across the NFL. First of all, he is stepping down on his own accord, which means the Steelers still own his rights, right? If he wants to come back and coach elsewhere, there would have to be a trade negotiated, similar to what happened with the Saints and Sean Payton. Here's where first of all, I think he's going to go into the media. I don't know if he'll jump right back into coaching. I'm fascinated to see what kind of a media member he is, because he has every hilarious cliche in the book. He's an entertaining guy. I would listen to a podcast hosted by Mike Tomlin. I don't know what he'll do, but I will be paying attention. Here's what I mean by ripple effects, though. For reasons that are very, different. I think the Steelers become the most attractive opening for a coach to chase in this hiring cycle. Now, I want to be clear. That does not mean they have the best team. That does not mean you're set up best to win. That does not mean they have the best draft picks or the best quarterback. Or matter of fact, I don't think they have much of that. What they do have, though, is they've had 4 coaches since 1969. This will be the 4th coach since 1969. That is worth its weight in gold in the coaching world.
Having that job security, yeah.
There is not a lot of loyalty, and there's not a lot of patience in the coaching world at any level, seemingly anymore. What the Steelers and the Rooney family have shown, they own the Steelers, is they will give you leash. They will trust you. They will let you make decisions. They will empower their coach and get out of the way. And that is as valuable as anything, right? So there's 2 ways to make your job attractive. One is have a good quarterback and have a good roster and have draft picks and cap space. That's really hard to do. The other is be loyal. Now, here's what the Steelers' secret sauce has been. They've picked the right guys, right? Because not only have they been loyal to their coaches have been overwhelmingly good coaches, right? So it's actually, I'll ask you this, Dennis, because you're a Steelers fan. I look at something like David Tepper, owner of the Panthers, who was a minority stake owner of the Steelers. Mm-hmm. He has gone rapid fire through coaches since he came to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, it's insane.
do the Steelers, is their loyalty like 100% there? Or are they loyal to good coaches and they just happen to have hired 3 good coaches? Like, if their next guy that they hire is Frank Reich with the Panthers, not with the Colts, or is, a disaster, did they still give him 15 years? Or because that's what they do with coaches? Or is it like, no, they've had 3 coaches since 1969 because those 3 coaches were Noel, Cowher, and Tomlin, and they're all very good coaches.
I think the team overall is patient because you got to remember there was a stretch there with Bill Cowher where he went in, it was 98, 99, 2000. He went 7-9, 6-10, 9-7, missed the playoffs all 3 of those years in a row. And you could sit there and look back and say, well, that's an easily justifiable reason to move on. Mm-hmm. But they stuck with him. Now, granted, he also had 6 straight years of making the playoffs preceding that. So I don't know. That's a chicken or the egg question if you're being honest about it.
It is, and that's why it's interesting, right? Because obviously they're more attractive as a job because of the loyalty they've shown to their coaches. But it might not be like, was anybody firing Tomlin? If Tomlin's career played out the way it did in Pittsburgh, anywhere else, is he fired? He won a Super Bowl in his 2nd year, and he's never had a losing season.
I mean, it's not that dissimilar from Harbaugh in Baltimore when you think about it.
Very similar. And Harbaugh lasted almost the exact same amount of time. Maybe were they hired the same year or was it 1 year apart?
I think it's about roughly 1 year apart.
So I'm fascinated to see. This is like, you're not going to like this, but I'm, not a Steelers fan. I almost want the next coach to struggle for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Just to see if the Roonies are like, no, we're the team that doesn't fire coaches. Or if they're like, well, this obviously isn't Noel, Cowher, Tomlin. Let's try again. Because part of their identity is they're like the loyal franchise. I mean, like Tepper might be following the way the Steelers operate. The Steelers have just never had to make that decision because they've only hired good coaches. Which, by the way, you know what else they've done with Cowher and Tomlin at least? I think they were about 33, 34 years old when they were hired. And Tomlin reportedly, like this is the legend of Tomlin, they were interviewing him, but not really, like he was not near the top of their list. And they absolutely were blown away by him in the interviews and ended up hiring him. So would you be surprised if they hired the youngest guy that's hired in this cycle? If they don't go get a young 30s coach? It's worked for them twice in the past.
Yeah, let's see. He was born in 72 and he was hired in 06. So you're talking 34 years old?
Yeah. And Cowher, I think, was the same age.
Yeah, roughly around. Let's see. Bill Cowher was hired in 91 season. He was born in 57. So you're looking at around 34 years old.
Yeah. So, and that's back when, like nowadays, the young coach is more trendy. Back then, you wanted like the old ball coach. Like there were significantly less young 30s head coaches, at least in my memory.
I think Tomlin, by the way, was only a coordinator for 1 year with the Vikings.
He blew him away in an interview. So, it's funny. This like old values program that's like, we're loyal and we can also just be blown away by a 34-year-old in an interview and pivot completely and go, that's our guy, and win the Super Bowl 2 years later. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what they do. But I do think they are one of the most attractive openings, even without, an obvious quarterback of the future and a bunch of other things maybe not going their way.
19 straight seasons of 500 or better. That's just awesome.
And an overwhelming majority of them not 500. There was 1 or 2 8-8 seasons in there. There weren't he's over 500 an overwhelming majority of the time. He's a very good coach. And he was teammates with Sean McDermott at William & Mary in college, the coach of the Bills. So
only 3 seasons of 8-8.
Yeah, and 19. That's absurd. Like, it's the Steelers are so loyal they don't fire their coaches. Well, if he never gives you reason to fire him, I don't know if that's that impressive by the Steelers.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, that's number 3, excuse me. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. I feel great about playing football right now.
Yeah, you do. That's Dave Canales. His GM, Dan Morgan of the Carolina Panthers, spoke to the media today. And one of the things I found interesting is The conversation that he was asked about, or the conversation that was spurned by a question about Ejiro Evero, their defensive coordinator, EJ as they call him. Evero was extended, meaning his contract was extended, well before any of us knew. The irony of a coordinator extension, I guess they just don't have to tell us about it.
Yeah, I heard rumblings about it during the game on Saturday because we were kind of talking about, you probably just let him go after the season, and a couple people were like, I think he signed an extension.
So,
okay.
It would have made sense to me. I don't know if I would have agreed with it, but it would have made sense to me if they extended him now, because they are coming off a year where they had tremendous defensive improvement. But it sounds like the extension was signed more off of last season, in which they did not have a very good defensive season. So Dan Morgan was asked, and I'm being very generous by describing it as a not very good defensive season, not a bad defensive season. Dan Morgan was asked why extend Evero after a poor 2024, and this is what he said.
I think if you look at EJ, if you're around him every day, you see the way he works, how smart he is. I believe in his defense. I believe in his philosophy. He's really good at developing players. Again, it's my job as well to equip him with the right personnel. And again, it's a patience thing to where, we're going to attack those needs and we're going to get better across the board. And, I think as you see us keep adding talent onto our roster, players on our roster developing, I think you'll see that defense keep ascending.
It's a bit of sticking to your guns, right? There's a bit of results be darned. I know a good coach when I see one, and he's a good coach. And I respect that kind of conviction in what you believe in. So, they extended him, and he'll continue running the defense, which, hopefully takes a even bigger jump from this year to next year as they continue to add talent to the roster. The other question, and there's the whole, we've played audio a bunch, and we'll have more tomorrow. We're going to talk more about what he's said about Bryce Young tomorrow. But from a bigger picture perspective, are they ahead of schedule as a team? I've been saying it as if it's just commonplace, like common knowledge. Like, yeah, they are ahead of schedule. They made the postseason in a year where I didn't think they were ready to make the postseason. Dan Morgan was asked if they're ahead of schedule as a team. This was his response.
From the inside, I really don't put timelines on it. Kind of leave that for the outside. I think for us, we have a vision. We have a plan moving forward. We're going to stick to that plan, and we're going to build this thing one brick at a time. We have a good foundation right now. I think you're never one player away. So I think we just got to be smart. We got to be disciplined in our process and our approach, like we've been, and just stick to that motto.
All right. So if he's not putting a timeline on it, I will. All right. He said that's for the outside. Well, guess what? We're the outside. When this job was available, right? Dan Morgan and Dave Canales took over. 2 years was not on the menu as far as when you should be contending. 3 was what we put out, right? And you can go back and find the receipts. It's on our YouTube. You can go all the way back. I was actually adamant on this is not a 1 or 2 year rebuild. This is a team where in the interview process, if you're David Tepper and you interview a GM and you go, all right, give me your plan for rebuilding this team. If they said we should be a contender by 2025, I would have gone, leave, you're not being honest with me, right? I want somebody that's going to be realistic and have a realistic plan. And I thought the earliest they could contend, probably not even for a championship, but for being near the top of your conference, was 2026. So there you go. Next year, with how this season went, having not changing at all, I think next year is the year when you can expect to see some real returns. Up till this point, it's been a rebuild. That's number 2. How about number 1?
The one! Let's do that hockey.
Canes tonight at St. Louis, second half of a back-to-back. Detroit last night, loss in overtime. Tonight in St. Louis, Brandon Bussey expected to be in net, which I think gives everybody a strange amount of confidence for a player who really is just making his way through his first half of a season, just about finishing up his first half of a season in the NHL. But the fact of the matter is he's been really good. And do you know what else is interesting? The team has played better in front of him, right? The expected goals and everything have been lower when Bussy is in net than when Freddie or Piotr have been in net, which is interesting to me. Obviously, there's some luck of the draw that goes into that. Small sample size, half a season. There's also some maybe the teams that you were playing goes into that. But at this point, I don't think you can argue. Like, the team plays better when Bussy is in net, and that gives you a little bit more confidence going into this one. Dennis, I thought you made an interesting comment earlier, and I'm gonna press you on it. We were talking about first goal scorers and why this guy, why that guy could be a first goal scorer prediction. And you said you wouldn't be surprised if Rod shuffles the lines up a little bit. And that's been rattling around in my brain. Why do you think tonight, second half of a back-to-back road against St. Louis, would be a time where, especially the top line, which has cooled down a little but has been hot this calendar year, why you think there might be a shuffle up?
I think the shuffle up comes in the sense of yesterday you only scored on special teams. You had a shorthanded goal, you had a couple power play goals, and just 5-on-5, I feel like Aho, Fetch, and Ehlers maybe just got a little, lack of better term, but obviously it was scorching hot. Then it came to a screeching halt, didn't die down. It was like extremes. So maybe it's just a little bit of a shakeup just to kind of get, even just to get Seth Jarvis back up there alongside Aho, which might not be the worst thing in the world. I could even just see potentially a straight-up flip where you see Jarvis go up there to the top line with Aho and Ehlers, and you put Svechnikov with Stahl and Martinook. I could just see just a straight-up flip in that regard, because I still think Taylor Hall, Stankoven, and Ehlers are actually playing pretty – I'm sorry, Hall, Stankoven, and Blake are playing really well together as of late. So I think that's the line that you want to keep intact. And sometimes Svechnikov, I think it's just good for him to go back there with Stahl and Martin and play a simple game. Kind of resets him.
I've said that about Jarvis in the past, and I think it could also be true for Svech. I think the Stahl Martinook line is kind of just a hit the reset button opportunity for those guys. And it's like whoever needs the reset most you put there, but it's not a long-term deal for those types of players.
And a couple games ago, it was the Stahl Martinook line with Jarvis that was the most productive line.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a reset line like an unproductive line. I'm just saying sometimes those guys, they get in a rut or something in the top two lines, and you put them down there, and it's just new, it's fresh, it's kind of funny, right? The generational gap between some of those guys and Stahl and Martinook. By the way, Martinook, what was it, 2 games ago in the post-game locker room was like a comedian. He was out there telling jokes, which, that's got to have some Jarvis on my line impact, right?
He's actually cracked jokes at me in the locker room before. It's fun.
Probably when Jarvis was on the line. I feel like he's just a funnier guy when Jarvis is around him.
It was after a morning skate like a month ago.
All right, so probably not Jarvis then. Either way, they play tonight against St. Louis. Last thing I'll put you on the spot with here, Dennis. I need an if-then statement.
Oh, okay.
If blank happens, then the Canes win.
Well, I said this for yesterday's game. If they don't give up a power play goal, then they win. They gave up a power play goal yesterday. They lost. I'm going to go to the same thing.
But they got it back on the shorty. They got it back.
They did, but still, if they give up a power play goal, or sorry, if they're perfect on the penalty kill, they win.
All right, we'll see if it happens. That's tonight, 7:30 puck drop, a little bit later than normal. But as always, you can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan, as well as the 99.9 The Fan app. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending wants to make sure you are aware that you can get a no-closing cost loan. No closing cost. A no-cost loan. It simply keeps more money in your pocket rather than, you sign up for your mortgage, you do all the math, here's what my monthly payment's going to be, here's the down payment, and then you show up at closing, and it's like, oh, by the way, we need another big old fat check. And you're like, oh, doesn't have to be that way. You can call Miller Lending and ask about their no-cost loan to learn more details on keeping more cash in your pocket, which also keeps you more flexible for things like refis in the future. Matter of fact, Miller Lending clients, if you signed up at the top of the market 2.5 years ago, those upper sevens rates, if you haven't done so already, it's time to call about that refi and see if you can't get a lower monthly payment with almost no cash out of your pocket. So give them a call. 919-447-3377. Even if you're not a Miller Lending client, by the way, if you're sitting on a high 7s rate, something that starts with an 8, you need to call right now. 919-447-3377 or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equalizing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. Let's grab some numbers game contestants, shall we? The prize for today, $25 Hardee's gift card. The number to call, 919-860-5326. Call in now for your chance to play the numbers game and potentially win the Hardee's gift card. We need 2 contestants. Again, the number one more time for you. I'll say it slow because I kind of ripped through it just now. 919-860-5326. Call in now for your chance to win. Numbers game next.
Get crazy, Canes fans. It's hockey night in Carolina. It's your Canes and St. Louis.
Stankoven, 4 in a row! Logan Stankoven!
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 7. Puck drop at 7:30.
Stahl, Slavin, score! Jacob Slavin! What a way to get career point 300!
On your official audio home of Hurricanes hockey, 99.9 The Fan.
Hi, Greg Talbot with Strategic Tax Resolution. Tax enforcement and defense strategies have changed a lot over the last year. After nearly 5 years, the IRS has restarted automated collections. You could be next for bank levies and wage garnishments. Ignoring the issue is not an option. Call 984-272-2600 to get protected. Do you have unfiled returns or tax debt? We work directly with the IRS and states so you don't have to. Let us use our proven strategies and experience with the IRS and state to resolve your tax issue. Qualified clients have cut their tax debt by more than 90%. How would that feel? Act now to learn the latest updates to tax relief programs. Your eligibility may not be the same. Strategic Tax Resolution. Local, trusted, A+ rated by the BBB. Call 984-272-2600. Ask for me, Greg Talbot. 984-272-2600. You've got a guy on your side. StrategicTaxResolution.com. Get relief.
The Wrap Up the Year sales event is on at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Right now, take advantage of over $11,000 off a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee or a new 2025 Jeep Grand L. We've got 11 to choose from, but when they're gone, they're gone. So don't wait to get your $11,000 off. Jeep, go anywhere, do anything. See dealer for details. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have 2 contestants on the line. They'll be battling it out for a $25 gift card to Hardee's. And one of them will be victorious and earn themselves that gift card. The contestants are Bear in Clayton and John in Raleigh. And as always, we'll bring them each onto the show, ask them the same question, and Dennis will get to pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first, and we'll go from there. Bear, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. The question for today is, I'm sure you've heard the news, Mike Tomlin stepping down from his job as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some say it's the most attractive job in sports as a coach because of the loyalty and job stability that they provide their coaches. So I'll ask you this. In all of sports, pro, college, everywhere, every sport, you could coach any of them. They give you the job. Which one are you choosing?
That's a tough question.
I don't come with the easy ones, Bear. You got to earn your first start.
I mean, I'm a big Vikings fan, so I'll just go with the Vikings.
All right. Ironically, that's where Mike Tomlin came from. He was the coordinator of the Vikings. All right, so
Yes,
Bear,
he was.
Bear and Clayton, how'd you let him out of the building? We'll go ahead and jump to John in Raleigh now. John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, same question to you. In honor of Mike Tomlin stepping down from what some would say is the best coaching stability job in sports, I don't know what to call him, like the sports leprechaun shows up and goes, I will grant you one wish as long as that wish is just to coach any team in sports, college, pro. Every job is at your option. What coaching job are you choosing?
Oh gosh, I think I would probably take the Los Angeles Lakers.
All right. Dennis, do you have any follow-ups? I should ask about the other one as well. Okay.
No, none.
All right. So the options are Bear says Vikings and John says Lakers. Which one are you rolling with?
I'll probably take the Lakers in this one. By the way, the correct answer we are looking for is USA Hockey. USA men's
that is
hockey
cool.
team.
That is cool. Although, as long as you have somebody else to call the ones that don't make it, I don't want to make that call. Right when you're holding tryouts and you got to call.
That's what the general manager does. I don't have to make that.
Cox. Actually, ironically, yeah, your last name, right? One of the last cuts from the 80 team in the movie.
Know. No relation.
You should pretend. You should at least get his jersey or something.
I should, actually. I actually thought about that.
All right, so that means John and Raleigh gets to go first, right? John, you're up. Bear, don't worry. You'll have your chance. Just have to stay on hold. John, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, I am.
All right, the categories are NFL Panthers throughout history, NFL players with mid-January birthdays, NBA players born south of the equator, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Can I do the Panthers throughout history?
You absolutely can. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I don't.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Keyshawn Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
19.
Correct. Jalen Coker, Carolina Panthers.
81.
Incorrect. Jonathan Mingo, Carolina Panthers.
18.
Incorrect. Jalen Coker, Carolina Panthers.
81.
Incorrect. Jonathan Mingo, Carolina Panthers.
15.
Correct. Chris Jenkins, Carolina Panthers.
77.
Correct. Mike Minter, Carolina Panthers.
30.
Correct. Jalen Coker, Carolina Panthers.
82.
Incorrect. Jalen Coker, Carolina Panthers.
3.
You were that close. You guessed for Jalen Coker 81 2 times. You guessed that twice. We wanted 18. You had the right numbers, just the wrong order. So you were right on the doorstep of a perfect score. But 4 is still a very, very solid number. You'll be the leader in the clubhouse. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. And that brings us to Bear and Clayton. Bear, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. It's going to be a tough one for you, but we've seen it done. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL mid-January birthdays, NBA players born south of the equator, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
NFL mid-January birthdays.
Perfect. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need all 5 for the win. But like I said, we've seen it done before. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. DeAndre Swift, Chicago Bears.
4.
Correct. Drew Brees, New Orleans Saints.
9.
Correct. Sam Laporta, Detroit Lions.
87.
Correct. Derek Mason, Baltimore Ravens.
85.
Correct. Elvis Dumervil, Denver Broncos.
58.
Incorrect. Elvis Dumervil, Denver Broncos.
50.
Incorrect. Elvis Dumervil, Denver Broncos.
56.
Incorrect. Elvis Dumervil, Denver Broncos.
55.
Incorrect. Elvis Dumervil, Denver Broncos.
98.
You both got exceptionally close. It's brutal for you because tie goes to whoever goes first. So not enough for the win. But there is a little bit of maybe saving grace that you weren't even close. I believe you are thinking of either Dumervil with Baltimore, where he wore 58, or maybe Von Miller with Denver, who wore 58. But with the Broncos, Dumervil wore 92.
Damn. Yeah, I was thinking 58 with the Ravens, yeah.
Yep. So, and maybe with the Niners also.
He wore 58 with San Francisco as well.
So you were close, but unfortunately not enough. Hopefully you had some fun, though.
Yes, sir.
All right. You can try again another day. And that means the winner is John and Raleigh. John, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That is a very close, very well-played numbers game, and you came out victorious. So enjoy it and stay on the line to make sure Dennis gets the info he needs to give you your prize.
All right. Sounds great.
Best numbers game we've had in a while, by the way. Like, for real.
Those are both like 4.5s out of 5. to get Doomerville's number right on every team that he played on except the one we were looking for is brutal. And then to say 81 twice for Jalen Coker when we were looking for 18 is very, very brutal. I don't know how else to describe it. The perfect scores were right there for the taking. Before we move on, and we do have some more audio from post-season Panthers talk, this time coming from the players. I refuse to gloss over this kind of news. NC State, according to Matt Zenitz, who is the national NFL and college football reporter for CBS Sports, NC State has landed a commitment from former UNC, meaning Carolina Tar Heel, defensive back Ty White out of the transfer portal. I know that the transfer portal makes crazy things, more normal, and people no longer drop their jaws to the floor when you hear a player getting, 4 teams in 4 years, or a player getting $2 million or whatever. It will always surprise me when somebody goes from State to Carolina, or from Carolina to State, or Duke to Carolina, or Auburn to Alabama, or Michigan to Ohio State. Like the rivalries are always going to be this is going to be my old man yells at clouds thing. College rivalries will always mean something to me, even if the players understand that it's just, a team in the same conference that is a better fit for you. I'm sure there's some old timers that came around before Reggie White made free agency a thing in the NFL, and they're just mad that players, can go take money from other teams and stuff. That's going to be me with the portal. I don't care that players bounce around, right? I think they only have limited eligibility. They should be able to make their own decisions for better or worse. It will always surprise me when somebody goes from Carolina to State or vice versa. And it looks like another one has made that journey. State landing a commitment from former Carolina defensive back Ty White out of the portal, according to Matt Zenitz from CBS.
Yeah, it's just
and Davion Goss did it.
Awkward.
It's hilarious, is what it is, and it's like, all right, sure, these new kids don't get it. These youngsters, completely acknowledging that I am stuck in the past. That's going to be my thing. That's going to be, my my grandpa used to absolutely despise that players didn't wear suits walking into the stadium, right? He wanted them all to dress like Joe DiMaggio, and he never got over it. That's going to be me. My rivalry thing is that's me. College rivalries will be my 1,000-year-old still yelling about it when no one else cares. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I mentioned audio. We have audio from Nick Scorton, Jalen Coker, Bryce Young, and Derek Brown, all in their postseason recollections or early off-season thoughts. That's all coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops, win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877 1-877-718-5543.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
This is the sound of Lucy, staying on top of her spending. You see, even though she's buying a new pair of jeans, she knows that it fits within her monthly budget. Because Wells Fargo will send an alert if her balance drops below her set amount. Yep, nothing gets past Lucy, or Wells Fargo for that matter. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have audio for you from a whole host of Carolina Panthers since their season ended on Saturday against the Rams. But before we play that audio for you and react appropriately, I'm just going to read directly from Mike Maniscalco, the voice of the Carolina Hurricanes, Twitter. The Canes radio network making a roster move today.
Oh, okay.
Tripp Tracy is out tonight, illness. Walt Ruff has been called up from Hurricanes.com.
Let's go.
And will be making his NHL analyst debut
Let's go,
tonight
Walt.
in St. Louis.
Let's go.
First of all, Tripp, feel better.
Yes. Are we designating this illness upper body?
Yeah, yes. I guess. No, illness that's a upper body illness. It doesn't have to be upper body. Anyway.
Yeah.
Tripp, we're hoping you feel better. You know we're big fans. You're one of our guys. But Walt's also one of our guys, and the opportunity for him to jump into the booth is exciting. And obviously, you can all hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan.
Or the 99.9 The Fan app.
Let's get as many people listening as possible for Walt's analyst debut. He and Mike Maniscalco will be on the call, and that'll be very fun. It'll be a nice little change up. Obviously, we want Tripp back and healthy, but a nice little change up middle of the season. Get a different voice.
Hey, when your number's called upon,
exactly.
Hey, don't got to get ready. You stay ready.
Exactly.
Walt Ruff's going to be ready.
He's been the healthy extra all year.
He has been. He's been in the press box all season. Watch
exactly.
him. He's been ready.
And
he sees how the game flow.
I'm looking forward to it.
Excited that
Walt Ruff has been called up, and also. Well played on the little announcement there, Mike Maniscalco. It's a creative way.
Walt's the man.
So looking forward to that. It'll be a cool change-up. And it is a radio-only broadcast for those guys. So
acknowledge Walt Ruff on the radio today.
So, yeah, tune in 99.9 The Fan and the 99.9 The Fan app. Even if you're watching, I think it's a Hulu broadcast. Even if you're watching it on TV, mute that, bring out the app, play it, so you can listen to those.
Absolutely.
Way to go, Walt.
Let's go.
Do you think he's freaking out right now?
No, I think he's pumped.
Do you think he's like building a play-by-play board or something just because – I mean, the first time you do a game, it's chaos. I'm sure he's done maybe lower-level stuff. But the NHL, I mean, there's nowhere above that. You know what I mean? So that's just a little programming note. Now let's get to the audio as promised here on 99.9 The Fan. The players of the Carolina Panthers, this is an assortment of audio that we've assembled over the last 48, 72 hours that we wanted to just make sure you heard. Starting with Nick Scorton. Nick Scorton, the rookie edge rusher, second-round pick, was asked if they proved that they belonged as a team, meaning with how they played in the postseason. This is what Nick Scorton said.
I mean, it's not about proving anything to the people outside. I mean, everybody in the building know what we got, and we believe. So like I said, man, it's just about us. And, the fans came out and showed up. I mean, hey, we didn't pull this one down.
I do think they proved something.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they belonged or not, I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Also, Nick Scorton could never say, like, inside, yeah, like to us, yes, because the only way that would be possible is if you didn't already know it, and you have to at least pretend like you know it. I think they proved a lot, and I think it's going to build their confidence moving forward. Also, Nick Scorton, Tetero McMillan, they don't know any different, right? Like, they're rookies. They showed up. This is their only NFL experience. Go talk to, like, Taylor Moton, right? Go talk to some of the guys that have been through the down years, and they'll be able to say, like, yeah, this team proved it's different than the one we were on 2 years ago where they only won 2 games.
That was from when I talked to him one-on-one in the locker room after the game when I asked him that. And you can tell when I asked him, like, did you guys prove anything this year? And, like, or like proved everyone else. And he just is kind of like basically shook his head when he did. He's like, nah, like, we don't care about that. Like, you can actually genuinely see on his face. He's like, we only care about this locker room.
And I think they did prove something to the people in that locker room.
Oh, yeah, they proved it to themselves.
Yeah. But I just think he's not going to admit that, because then you'd also be letting people know that you weren't 100% sure before you proved it. But I do think they proved something to themselves, right? Going toe-to-toe with the Rams like that in a game like that is something that I don't, I'm sure they hoped they were capable of it, but I don't know if they knew. Jalen Coker. He is a player that has been around for a couple of years now. Just 2 years ago, undrafted, like before last season, undrafted rookie free agent. He was waived early in that season. Every other team passed on him, went back to the practice squad. Now you could argue he's a building block of the future, and he talked about this season being a building block for the entire team going into next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to springboard us to next year. Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate the way that it kind of ended, but ultimate faith in everyone that's here, and we're just going to continue to build off this.
Jalen Coker, I mean, this offseason should be a really fun one for him because I think his spot, and I'm not saying like the number 2 wide receiver, number 2 targets, they may go acquire somebody, but his spot as a core member of that offense is fairly secure after a 140-whatever-yard touchdown performance in a postseason game. Now it's about fine-tuning. It's about building as a unit. Bryce Young, and Tetero McMillan, they should spend a lot of time together this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
They should be so excited, especially where they are in their life, like early 20s. Obviously, 2 of them with a real good amount of money, and Jalen Coker with more than everybody, as long as he doesn't compare himself to those other 2 guys. It's go spend time and get better. That offense, that paired trio, whatever you want to call them, should be super excited to build off of what this season was.
Yeah, and Canales even said so on Sunday that McMillan and Coker are the guys are going to get the first shot at being starters this upcoming offseason.
And they should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
One just had a 1,000-yard season. One had 100+ and a touchdown in a postseason game. That's not an unearned statement from the head coach. And either way, they'll be catching passes from Bryce Young, picking up the 5th-year option, all that stuff that we've learned about him since the postseason game. He was asked about getting a taste of playoff football in the NFL.
Yeah, it's definitely fuel for us. Again, we know we were right there. We know what it feels like, but we know we're not entitled to anything next year. Again, it's just fuel for us. We have to make sure that that's the standard moving forward, making sure that we're only building and taking positive steps from there. That's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication through the off season. But special thing about this group is we all look forward to that work, so I'm excited for it.
Hear that term, the standard? That was talked about a lot in the aftermath of the game, including Derek Brown, one of the best players on the Carolina Panthers, also one of the most highly compensated players on the Carolina Panthers. And he was asked about standards as well, and he says it has changed.
Man, I'm just so proud of this team and the way guys fought. Sitting here coming off of a New England many weeks ago, we were sitting at 1-3. Or 0-3 and won a game in Atlanta next week, and that was that was where the team kind of found itself. I feel like this is a tough business, and you're going against the best every single week. So man, I'm just so proud of our team for just showing the will to fight, bouncing back after losses, going out and beating teams that we weren't supposed to beat. So, I mean, man, I'm thankful for this team, thankful for this opportunity. That's all I can say.
Was this the best atmosphere from Bank of America that you've seen since you've been here?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And, we want the message to be, man, this is the standard now. We want to play playoff football here. We want the bank to be sold out every weekend. And, we got to give them a show if that's what we want.
There's Derek Brown. He's been, it's actually really exciting to talk and hear from Derek Brown after a big win because he's so brutally honest after bad losses that, like, you don't get the feeling like he's blowing smoke or too over the top. It's like if he says something after a win, standard has been raised, this we did well, the Bank of America crowd was bananas. It carries a certain amount of credibility because if you talk to him after a loss, he'll drop a couple bleeps on you and let you know how he's feeling. The standard has been raised, but the best thing I can say about the Dan Morgan, Dave Canales era with the Panthers is they have consistently raised the bar and reached it, right? They took over a team that won 2 games with no first-round pick. And guess what? They won 5 the next year. And then they took that 5 and went to 8 and made the postseason, right? They just keep inching forward and sometimes taking leaps forward. And if they're going to continue that, it's only going to get harder, right? I don't want to say it's easy, but it's significantly easier to go from 2 wins to 6 wins, right, which is a 4-game improvement, than it is to go from 6 to 10. Like every additional win becomes more and more and more difficult, and if they're openly saying that's the new standard and they're only going to go up from there, that is writing a fairly big check that they now have to work as hard as they possibly can to go cash.
You ain't going to sneak up on anybody next year.
No, and you're playing a number 1 or a first place in the division schedule, which is more difficult. It doesn't get easier from here; it gets more difficult. But you've earned the right for it to be more difficult.
And everyone around the league saw you go toe to toe with the LA Rams, even though you lost. Everyone saw it. It's like, okay, all right. People mess around and say, "Oh, they're just 8-9; they don't belong." You watch out; they'll get you.
Similarly, the Canes have been dealing with that for a long time, and as we said, Walt Ruff's going to be the analyst sitting in for an illness Trip Tracy today with
Walt.
Mike Maniscalco. But Walt's still doing his regular job.
He is.
And I have an update on the roster for you. Mike Riley, according to Walt, will be drawing in for the Canes tonight versus St. Louis. It'll be his first game since essentially the new year, January 1st, the last time he made an appearance. Brenda Moore, meaning the head coach, Rod Brenda Moore, did not specify which defenseman is coming out, so we'll likely find out at the start of warmups. Coming up here in just a little bit. Brandon Bussey in net making his 20th start. You don't love that unless it's literally just let's get Mike Riley in and get someone to break.
I'm wondering with Slavin coming off of his injuries, if it's just, hey, back-to-back, travel, just go ahead and easing it back in, take a day.
And it is the benefit. I do think they, for the most part, they do trust Mike Riley, I would say more than most teams trust their 7th defenseman. So throwing him in there could be a luxury to give a guy, a little extra rest. And then, Walt Ruff does say in response to one of the conversations in the replies, it could be an 11-7 decision, but he would be surprised by that, and I would also be surprised by that. Either way, Mike Riley getting the opportunity to go out there and make some plays against St. Louis today. If Slavin is not playing, Dennis, that does impact your if-then statement from earlier today. If blank happens, then the Canes win. You said if they're perfect on the penalty kill. If you take Slavin away from the penalty kill, that obviously is not ideal. So
my statement still stands.
Just need other guys to step up. Take that. Maybe they'll score another shorty. That seems to be something they're very good at. Jarvis is now 3rd all-time in Canes history in shorthanded goals, and number 1 is Aho.
That's wild.
They're shorthand specialists. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. More audio from the Panthers in their early offseason. Dan Morgan spoke to the media today. Play some of that audio for you to start off Overdrive. Canes tonight right here, 99.9 The Fan. Good luck to Walt Ruff as a analyst with Mike Maniscalco. Feel better, Trip Tracy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Where do you go to get an offensive coordinator who's proven in that town, who's never going to get a head coaching job again? Frank Reich is your answer. Done and done. Make him the offensive coordinator for the next few years. There's your guy. He's not going to be a head coach in this league again, so there's a solution. Is it perfect? I don't know. We'll have to see what he does. Is it better than Kevin Petullo based on experience in Philadelphia and based on the fact that no one will hire him as a head coach? That's what they need.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm very honored by this award, and I always just try to work really hard in school and soccer, and it's nice to be recognized with something this special.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When sleep isn't working, everything feels harder. Your health, your patience, your focus, even your relationships. I'm Megan Giggling with Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Too often, people are told to wait months or even years just to talk to a sleep specialist. But untreated sleep problems don't wait. At Parkway, care begins within weeks with home sleep studies and fast, coordinated support so people can move forward instead of staying stuck. Better sleep changes everything.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly here, and I want to make sure everybody knows that Bailey's Fine Jewelry is proud to feature the largest Omega showroom of its kind, offering an unmatched opportunity to explore the brand's full collection. And this year, that means just a little bit more, because Omega has been the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games since 1932. So, if Omega and their timekeeping and all of the technology and innovation that you can have on your wrist is good enough in the extreme cold, high speeds, and intense physical conditions of the Olympics, downhill skiing, speed skating, where every tenth of a second matters, well, guess what? It has to be good enough for you. And, in my personal opinion, they also look so darn sharp. I am a massive fan of Omega watches, luxury timepieces, and that's why you should stop out at the largest Omega boutique of its kind inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This hour of The Fan is brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite.
It's 6 o'clock. Time to shift into overdrive. All highlights, no filler. As we run it back from the drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Panthers, their season came to a close over the weekend. It was a loss to the Rams, but it was a close loss. And a close loss to a team like the Rams in the postseason appears to have risen, or raised, I should say. They appear to have raised vibes around the team. Right? No moral victories, but everybody seems pretty optimistic about the way the Panthers showed up. So earlier today, it was a late morning presser. Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Panthers, spoke to the media, and it definitely had, like, just not even anything he was doing or how he presented. It just had upward vibes, right? Where in years past, a lot of times it's like little, I don't want to say funeral-ish, but a little like, explain to me how you're going to make this stop. This year it was kind of like, no, let's see. Why'd you do this? Very much more curious than accusatory. However, if there's one thing that everybody would be accusing about or be suspect about, it was the situation with Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator. Most of the season was operated under the pretense, at least from the public, that his contract was up this offseason and they're